Hello, everybody. I'm Raven Karasu, and we are going to do sassy stories tonight. I just kind of felt like, I was bored, and I didn't really want to play any games or nothing like that. So I figured, let's do some sassy stories. I mean, that'd be fun. Just me goofing off.
I just kind of felt
And
like,
I forgot my YouTube
I
again.
was bored and I didn't really want to play any games or nothing like that.
Be quiet, me. Okay, I don't want to hide the chat. No, I didn't want to hide the chat. Dear Lord. One day I'll learn how to work this thing and not be an idiot. We're going to pop out the chat. All right. Now we got the chat out. Okay, there we go. I always forget. Anyway, we're going to be doing sassy stories tonight, but instead of fairy tales, I really wanted to do some creepypastas. I'd only done creepypastas once for sassy stories, and that was the debut of the what do I call it? I'm sorry, my memory is just going crazy today. Segment is the word I'm looking for. When I first started the segment, I started with creepypastas, but I've been doing fairy tales and such since. I was really in the mood to just rank on some creepypastas, some really bad ones, maybe a few not so bad ones. It just kind of depends on how long we go, and I don't know how long it's going to be, and we'll just kind of see what happens as we go. Excuse me, I'm already yawning. Not sleepy, but I'm yawning. So I got a little bit of a drink left, and I got some links to some creepypastas. I do need to say this first. Basic disclaimer I always do for sassy stories is it's going to have cussing in it. It's going to be weird, and we don't care. We just go all out on it. Little kids, definitely not the kind of thing. But if you don't mind, some foul language and some dark humor, it's fine. Also, because we're reading creepypastas that other people have done, and not just some famous ones. We will probably do some, but because we're picking some up, there were some that were chosen and requested for me to do. I want to say to the authors of those particular creepypastas, don't take anything that we say personally. The whole purpose of this segment is to basically make fun of things we read and just be silly. If you are proud of what you wrote, then that's fine. Don't feel that, oh, you suck, don't ever write again. It's like, no, I mean, as a writer, I understand that, people grow the more they do it. And sometimes things don't always go. Trust me, I'm guilty of that myself. So yeah, don't take anything super personal or seriously. We're just goofing. And some creepypastas, if I remember the last time we did this, we actually had one that was actually pretty good. So some of them end up pretty good, and some of them are just really bad as far as creepypastas, but some are interesting. So you never know exactly how it's going to go. And like I said, because we're going in this to make fun of what we read, it's nothing personal, and it's no real gauge on your skill or potential skill that you will have as you practice and go on. So definitely, even if your work is on here and we just pull it apart and goof on it, don't get discouraged. Definitely keep writing. If you enjoy writing, just write. It's okay. It's okay to not have something that everybody likes. Some people may like what you wrote, some people may not, and we're not taking it seriously. It's nothing personal. It's nothing against you as a writer, nothing like that. It feels important to say that. So definitely don't take it personally if we read something that belongs to you and just goof on it. It's nothing personal. And like I said, we may like it for one reason or another, but the whole purpose is to goof on it. So definitely don't let this discourage anything that you like to do. If you like to write, then write. It's totally okay. And I totally am for people who keep practicing and get better as they go. That being said, this should be a whole lot easier than games because I won't get kicked out every 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put the, excuse me, put the link in so we can get started. Okay. Oh, I was given another link. So we'll just have to see what we get. No idea if he's even on. I don't think he's on. All right. Probably not going to get a whole lot of people. I do have the YouTube chat open, but knowing me, I'll probably forget to check it. So be patient if you ask a question or anything like that. I will try to have other people looking as well, but like I said, I may forget, but it's not because I'm ignoring you. Because I'm reading, I'm focused on that. So anyway, hello, Sirius. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off because you're all sick of looking at me.
Hello, Aki. Everybody online. Or rather, everyone in Aki.
We got Shannon. We got Sirius. We'll probably get Iraqi in a little bit. No idea if we're going to get anybody else. Excuse me. I'm not even gonna set the thing. I'm just gonna leave it as it is, so whoever's talking will show up as the icon. Because I'm reading, and I don't want you all reading over my shoulder. Ah.
That, or having static picture of,
Yeah, I guess it does get kind of old just seeing nothing but my icon.
Well, I mean, you could set it so they just see yours, but that's up to you.
That's what I normally do, but I think this time I'm just going to leave it. So whoever's making noise shows up, then I know who to yell at.
What, like you can't tell by our voices if we talk?
No, I can't. You all sound alike.
Oh, now I feel offended. I'm not special. I have to be like everybody else.
I don't know. I would think my accent brings me further from sounding the same. Like, I need to reword this.
You also need to pay attention when she's having fun with sentences.
What?
Sorry, I'm taking care of Mirage. His eye is so red and watery.
Aw. But yes, your accent definitely would make you very distinct, and that's kind of why I like it.
Okay, it's okay, baby.
That and I like listening to different accents in general.
But yeah, as I said in my last video, which was a vlog, Mirage has some eye issues. He's really watery and a little red and puffy. We're just basically cleaning it out every little bit and putting some wet, cold compress on there, and he seems to be doing a little better.
I swear, this must be the time for animals to be not well.
Are your dogs like that?
Well, let's see. Rhett said that his cat is puking up a storm.
Yeah.
So he needs to go to the vet. Your cat is having problems. One of my dogs, I don't know which, but like every so often, they seem to think they need to puke overnight. I had one day in particular, well, not one day in particular, but 3 different days this past week where they had puked 3 or 4 days in a row.
I have that issue with Britzy sometimes, but I know she's not sick. I think what she does is she eats so much so fast that she can't keep it down because it's just too much in too little time.
Who knows?
It's something that it's a habit she's having a hard time breaking. But oh my gosh, she's gaining weight. She used to be so skinny. I used to be afraid of taking her to the vet because I would think if I take her, you're starving your cat. It's like, no, I swear she's just naturally this skinny.
Not anymore.
But yeah, after we got her fixed, she was very slowly starting to put weight back on. Granted that when we got her out after getting fixed, you know, she was like a skeleton. And again, I was feeling bad. I'm like, I swear to God, we feed her every day. I swear to God, we feed her every day. It just seemed like she was a total skeleton once her uterus was taken out.
And now it's the other way around. It's like, now you're overfeeding her. She's a blimp.
Yeah, now she's actually starting to gain, and she's so cute and snuggly now. She just kind of looks at me like, it's like, well, her upper abdomen is still kind of tight, but her lower abdomen is getting a little soft and squishy. And her butt's getting rounder, and I like it. Because I like round, squishy kitties.
She likes fluffy butts. She cannot.
All right, so I'm assuming that everybody knows we're here. Okay. I guess, oh, Arachne has to plug his mic in. So I guess he'll show up whenever. Should I wait for him?
I don't know. I don't know.
What's this?
You could ask him.
I'm going to.
Let's see. We got a nice collection here. There's some that I actually want to read that look interesting. But then I see some of the crappy pastas that y'all sent me.
I'm sorry that I sent you not so crappy ones before I knew that you wanted crappy ones.
That's fine. You never know. I mean, let's see.
You're just supposed to have fun with them, whether or not they're originally.
Yeah. There are actually some on the CREEPYPASTA.com that y'all sent me, and they look interesting. I don't know if they're good or bad because I had not read them. Let me see. Shadow on the Wall was one that y'all gave me. That was supposed to be, that was under a crappy pasta thing.
Yep.
The Woman in the Theater.
Those both sound like they are going to be.
And depending on how long we go or how quick we go through, we also have the top 10 worst creepypastas. And we, like I said, we got some stuff from creepypasta.com. So I don't know what we're going to read all through today. I may go back and forth between good and bad. So we'll see.
I do have one other one I didn't send you because I wasn't sure yet. It's Music Joy Friend, whatever the heck this is. It's another one of the bad ones that have. You can tell that their writing is just.
Hi, Arachne.
Hello.
Woo!
Yeah, go ahead and send it, and we'll see what we can do.
I haven't even gone through all 10. I just found a few of the ones.
Yeah, I have the top 10 worst up. And it just depends on what we got. Oh, excuse me.
I know the first two I sent you, I definitely think should be fun.
Which one's that? Is that the Woman in the Theater one that he sent me?
No, I sent you the Woman in the Theater, all in caps.
Oh, I thought he sent me that.
Mm-mm.
And you
And
also
then the shadow on the wall. Yeah, both of those were ones I sent.
Arachne, I may be late with your image that you wanted from me.
That's fine.
My mouse is not that great. It's not cooperating very well.
Well, like I said, you haven't March.
It is March.
May, my bad, May.
May. Oh.
Yeah, this is March.
Oh. Well, if I have until May, then I might still be able to do it.
You have until May, because it's, May 1st is usually when I celebrate it, and then May 11th is the death of my grandma. You have until May.
Oh, okay. Depends on how much money I get back from the school, because I'm in need of a new laptop. Yeah, and the mouse is kind of weird, so I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do accurate art, so.
Well, if not, it can be a little late. I'm not picky.
All right. Yeah, I mean, like I started, I'm just like, I want to work on it, and then I'm like, oh, damn mouse. All right.
I'm still waiting for Sarius to do some makeup for me to use in Poser, and I've been waiting for about 3 months for that, so.
I think the only way for me to be able to do that now is to just send me another copy of the face, because I'm sorry, I lost it and I keep looking for it, but I don't think I'm gonna find it.
I've had it a few times just losing things.
I was going to. I thought the correct answer would be to get off your lazy ass and do it already, but.
He keeps losing his base.
Yeah, I lost it and then I kept looking around like, where the fuck did I put it? But no.
He needs better defenses.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, I do have the Yahoo chat open if any of y'all want that, if you want to check on that every so often.
The Yahoo?
Am I missing something?
Huh?
You have the Yahoo chat open?
Not the Yahoo. YouTube. That's the second time I've done that. YouTube. I don't know why I'm saying Yahoo. I am so far behind mentally. I woke up this morning and I forgot I was wearing fucking glasses.
Oh, great. One of those older people things like, where's my glasses? Where's my glasses? On your head.
My phone, and I go to get up and I'm like, shit, I can't see anything. Oh, yeah, I wear glasses.
I had a weird
thing this morning. I went to send her something. I'm like, what the fuck is my mom's name?
I had a weird thing like that once some time ago. I had like ran into something and I, kind of bumped my head. And for some reason, I thought I had lost my eye. So I was looking for my eye when it was the eye that I was using to look for my eye that I was looking for.
We are all lacking object permanence and practical sense.
Well, my sister Zena would fit right in with that because she can't remember jack when it comes to anything.
I have the Yahoo chat open, and it's like,
wait,
why?
When did any of us use that?
I have not had the YouTube chat open in years.
I can tell you, we're going through this fucking Yahoo.
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 I haven't used Yahoo in forever. At least I didn't say America Online. Hey, I am chat.
Oh, goodness.
That's
You have mail.
It's not nice to make fun of dubstep.
Okay, so anyway, let's see. What am I gonna do? Block of text. Man, I hate when people don't format their stuff better. It's just one big wall of fucking text.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much how these are.
I guess the first one I'll read is Music Joy, My Friend.
Oh, this should be interesting.
Yes, and generally, most of these I have not read, so this will be the first time. So
I've never even heard of these.
yeah, I've never heard of those either. I know, the top 10, I've heard of most of those, but
also on a side note, I also have the YouTube. The YouTube chat open.
Thank you. I don't know what is with me lately. All right. And here we go. The beer is in my system. That's not part of the story.
Oh,
no, that's just your power juice.
Yes.
The beer.
Drinking it slowly was fine, but guzzling it just did not quite have the same taste. It had more of a rind taste. It had a fruity taste when I was just sipping it, but then when I guzzled it, it had that fruit rind flavor.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
She's not tan. She's just the lightest brown. She's like powder brown.
It was a late summer evening. Chilling wind blew as fall was approaching. That's actually not a bad starter sentence. That's actually pretty good.
Not too bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's actually pretty good. My brother, no comma, Steve and I were returning home after a day at the cinema. Cinema.
That's a movie theater.
I know what it is. We just don't normally say that here in America. It doesn't feel like it's a very U.S. type of writer. You know what a cinema is, okay? I do watch Cinema Snob.
I do too.
I enjoyed spending time with him. I enjoy spending time with Cinema Snob too. And so does Britzy. Oh,
I
Steve.
know.
We're talking about Steve. Okay.
Poor Steve, he'll never be loved.
Damn it, Steve.
I'm like the last person in the world with an accent.
I was gonna make a Wonder Chicken joke, but I think that one's kind of like too much of an inner circle joke that even people in our current inner circle don't know. Except you, Sirius.
Oh, goodness.
Remember Steve the Wonder Chicken?
Yes. I think I'm the only one who knows that joke.
Yeah, you are the only one currently on this chat who knows what the hell that is.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. He always watched out for me, even though he was 16. 3 years older than me.
So she's a 13-year-old? She's a tween.
Even though he was 16, because, you know, most 16-year-olds are out there being thugs.
Sure.
Actually, I'm kind of reaching. So far, this isn't too bad. Just very minor issues as far as sentence structure. But overall, so far, so good.
The others will be better.
When we got home, he seemed depressed.
He's a teenager.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a teenager. Okay. You don't understand. This isn't a phase. It's who I am.
Sure. Let's see you say that in another 10 years. Yep.
I left my thought. Okay. He refused to eat dinner and called it a night. Well, I mean, y'all did go to the cinema. Maybe he stuffed himself on hot dogs and popcorn and pizza. Of course, it depends. If you're in an IMAX, you're gonna have all that shit. If you're in a rinky-dink theater, you'll probably just get popcorn and nachos.
Oh, I love
And of course,
nachos.
you can't go to a movie without like snow caps. I hate snow caps. Anyway,
Can't go to the movie without snow caps. I hate those things.
I do. All right.
Why do I buy them?
I don't buy them. I buy popcorn.
I do
With
too.
the nice loads of butter and the different seasonings.
No, just butter.
Butter with a little salt.
We don't like change.
I guess that depends where you live at. We buy nothing from the movie places when we go to the movies. We always sneak shit in.
Well, if you don't like change, well, I'm not surprised. If you don't like change, I suppose you can give it to the Nostalgia Critic's bum. He'll take it.
Anyway, let's get back to the story and not talk about asses.
Asses? I didn't say anything about asses.
Asses?
When did we start talking about me?
What conversation were you in, Sirius?
She just said give the change to some critic's bum.
Bum, as in like change. You got any change? Not bum as in butt.
Oh.
I forget the name of that guy, that character that he does.
I'll have to think about it later.
Anyway, wrong bum.
Well, now I know where Sirius is.
Hmm.
I had to find my spot. The next morning, I was awoken by my mother's screams.
Did she find a mouse in the house?
Startled, no comma, I rushed to my brother's room.
Maybe she was
I never
rushing.
told you that's where she was when she was screaming. Only to find the horror of him hanging by the ceiling, no comma, dead as could be.
Well, I'd be a little shocked if he was alive and hanging.
What the hell did you guys
Well,
want?
I don't know. He could be
That's
Spider-Man. He could be Spider-Man hanging from the wall.
No, I'm just gonna say this right now. That was actually happier than I thought it was going to be. The mom is screaming from his brother's room.
Her brothers.
Oh, was it a girl?
The main character is, but
Oh, the main character's a girl? It was very...
Yeah, the main character is a 13-year-old girl. She
I
said
said it was a 13-year-old. I just didn't know it was a girl.
okay.
But yeah, the mom is screaming from her brother's room. Think about that for a second.
Well, yeah, because
Get your nose to the grindstone! Oh my God!
what?
I'm wondering what movie they watched that fucked him up so bad. I mean, did they go and watch like the Shyamalan version of The Last Airbender? I mean, that pretty much depressed me. No, but
50 Shades of Grey.
oh God.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that would probably do that for me.
I vote they watched Twilight.
Now.
Slide out of my chair and beat my head on the armrest while
I vote that they watched Twilight. That's what made them such a headache. Twilight.
Oh,
the last one was okay. Anyway, where am I at? Damn it.
boys hanging from the ceiling somehow.
Hanging from the ceiling. Okay. I fell to my knees in shock as sirens wailed in the background. I was heartbroken. That should not be a comma. That should be a semicolon.
Wait. Did the mom call the police or something? Then did she call someone?
We don't know.
I guess she hit her life alert.
We're basically hearing nothing about the mom besides that she screamed and then suddenly the sirens are coming. Did she call the hospital? Did she call someone?
Maybe the scream was the call to the police, just randomly screaming, and they automatically knew how to get there. It's like,
There's no police that good. They're not psychics.
apparently,
Maybe she's next door to. Maybe she's next door to the police station.
Oh, that would make sense. It's like, oh, they're the
We're
woman.
just making up our own fucking canon.
Hey, it's more sense than the story's making so far. It's like, how did the police psychically hear?
That's Mrs. Anderson's scream. Are you sure it could be Mrs. Pernella's? Yeah, but if she was doing it, we'd be hearing a cat yowling. You know, she's always calling us to get her cat out of the tree. This is definitely a, oh my God, my son hung himself, he's dead kind of scream.
Yes.
Yep.
Why does this sound like the Jersey Wolf being a psychic cop?
Actually, I would have figured it would be like the Jersey Wolf's grandmother who's a chain smoker. Yes, it's definitely Mrs. Anderson's scream.
Jersey grandma.
The Jersey grandma psychic cop?
The arch nemesis.
Jersey grandma.
Arms.
No,
Okay.
really bad, a really old, the old school kind of bad TV show. Jersey grandma, psychic cop.
That actually sounds hilarious. I'd watch that.
That
if that
sounds so fucking stupid, but sounds like something I'd watch. It's like watching Chips now. I've never even watched it, but I'm constantly seeing the commercials for it on my smart TV. I'm just like, oh God, this looks so dumb. Anyway.
Chips? If there's a TV show for chips, does that mean there's one for dip too?
Anyway, the
It's
story.
the California Highway.
Martin, you remember when you
Interstate Police or something like that? I don't remember.
I don't know.
the whole thing?
Anyway, actually, this actually isn't starting out too bad. Me picking on the fact that there's missing or incorrect punctuation is actually me reaching in because I just feel like being a bitch.
That and the fact that they didn't call the cops, and yet the cops are coming somehow.
Which led to the whole psychic cop joke thing.
Psychic Jersey grandma, psychic cop.
Wait a minute. I didn't even finish the sentence, and this is confusing me. Okay.
Logically thinking, I'm surprised none of you figured out. They probably have neighbors who heard this stream, you jackass.
Hey, we were close. We said police station next door. You know, that nosy Mrs. Greenwich?
I'm just wondering, How
Making up fucking
magically fast would the police be even if they called as soon as the mother screamed? And then,
I can guarantee you this is an upstanding, upper-class white neighborhood.
oh, that's true.
Either
There's
that
no
or
way,
the,
no
I-
way this would happen in like a black neighborhood or a ghetto or anything like that. This is a
Even a normal
rich
neighborhood.
white people neighborhood.
I live in a normal neighborhood that's non-ghetto, and it still takes a few minutes for any police to get anywhere.
it's
unless
modern
you, like,
day
live
Mayberry.
next door. What?
It's modern day Mayberry.
You know what's sad? I'm going to say this before I continue reading. There is a bank located across the street from the police department. Someone robbed that bank, made off with the money, walked halfway across town before the police caught him.
That
Oh,
is pretty bad.
Yeah, the police are right there. They lost him and couldn't find him for a couple hours.
What?
Across the street.
Dude, where I live at, if you call the cops, call Domino's. So you can have pizza while you wait for the police.
You gotta go first. Does it matter?
No.
Not really.
I live in the ghetto and it usually takes the police. Or the gas station down the street I usually walk to. Pretty much cops do not go though. Like it has to be something major for the cops to go though. So I tell mom if I ever get in trouble, expect me to be instant death row because I'm gonna make damn so the police show up.
Okay. I fell to my knees in shock as sirens wailed in the background. Comma, which should be a semicolon. I was heartbroken and I started to cry. I started to cry nut. I felt my heart turn black.
Wait.
What?
She was crying nuts.
I started to cry nut. I felt my heart turn black.
I think she meant butt, but she instead put a nut.
Oh! I started to cry, but I felt my heart turn black.
I feel like it could be
But. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, let's see if I can do this. Skeletor voice. Whoever did this is going to pay. I can't fucking do it.
Oh, goodness.
Aw.
Just imagine a really cool Skeletor voice saying that.
Okay.
Okay. Damn. Freaking wall of text. Okay. Where am I at? Okay. Whoever did this is going to pay. That is so cliche.
Just don't know it.
Anyway.
I found out the guy who was in debt with me was named Bradley Maine. No comma. My brother's bully, or in my eyes, no comma, killer.
Wait. When did it ever say that she was in debt with anyone? What the fuck is going on?
Apparently, this girl works for the mafia. This boy's in debt.
Surprise, motherfucker! You come to me on the day of my brother's suicide to ask me for this.
I'm just gonna ask something. Why did she say a bully was in debt with her? Why the fuck would anyone say that? Bullies don't pay you back.
I don't know.
I'm loving that though. Just like, yep. My brother's bully is in debt with me. Yep.
So I went to go kill him with a knife in hand like a boss when my mother stopped me, ever so casually, like you do.
Yep. Like, where you going, honey? I'm gonna go kill my brother's killer. Honey, what? No, honey, no, I wouldn't
What
do
I
that.
tell you about getting your Sunday dress dirty? You got to get right with the Lord first.
Also, why would any bully be the cause of the brother's death when he hung himself?
The whole. It can happen. Depends how sensitive the brother was.
It feels like a giant chunk of the story is completely missing and we skipped something.
Well, yeah, there's still a whole lot of it missing.
Yeah, there's a lot non-existent, but that's
Oh my God! Oh God, we did it again.
What?
She asked me where I was headed. She looked at me, terrified, no comma, and took me to a mental clinic. You know, all within the span of 15 minutes.
Sure. 20 at the most, because you gotta drive safely.
They brainwashed me to think that insanity was wrong. That's not how they work nowadays.
That's not actually brainwashing. That's just common sense. Insanity is wrong.
Insanity is a mental illness. It's not a good thing. You have to treat that.
Yeah.
I get to say that because I have mental issues, and yeah, you have to treat that. Otherwise, you just aren't right. You don't work right.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna be a bad today. It's just.
And technically speaking, psychiatrists don't use the word insanity. They use abnormal. It's legal cases that use insanity.
Yeah, if you go to a clinic, they'll be saying there's probably some mental issues going on. Considering the fact that we have no span of time, I mean, I don't think that they would say, "Oh, you're insane." Like, no, you have suffered a trauma and you are still reeling from the trauma.
Especially since it just happened, like
Right.
10 minutes ago.
Yes, and I'd have to say, reeling from the trauma to the extent that she thought that before, without any evidence,
Any evidence?
proof, any words, she assumed someone had killed her brother after he hung himself.
And since we don't know what the hell was going on with the brother, he never fucking said anything. She's jumping to assumptions, and yeah, she's the bad guy. I'm sorry. You don't just go kill someone because, well, they were a bully. I'm going to go kill them. You don't know if that's the issue.
Yeah.
Is bullying good? No, you shouldn't be bullied. But I'm just saying, you don't know if that was the cause.
Exactly.
They drugged me and made me the way society wanted me to be, and I believed them at first.
Oh dear, she's gonna go off medication, isn't she?
I was okay with this. Now I'm starting to think, this is not a good girl. This is definitely one of those girls that just don't belong in society.
Yeah, she's the ones that you shouldn't let out, but they're eventually let out anyway because they don't have enough money to keep them.
So she believed them at first that it was a bad idea to just go and kill somebody without
proof or anything, and
yeah, just make an assumption and just go off and kill someone. Oh no, that's perfectly fine. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I do not feel the relationship has been built enough for us to take pity on this girl.
That's because no relationship has been built. We don't know anything besides that she was 13.
And the fact that, all we know is she's 13. Her brother's 16. He would look after her, and he felt sad.
And he killed himself.
We don't even know that he felt sad. We don't even know that he felt sad besides a brief time.
Yeah, he didn't eat dinner and he was depressed. Well, that's the way she saw it.
Yeah.
I worship him, but I'm not going to let him know.
Months later, no comma, they let me go home. I was outside in a nearby forest and ran into a girl sitting on a large rock, no comma, singing and drawing.
And when you're done,
okay.
Please don't kill her.
Turned around and saw me with sweet.
you have privacy.
What? She turned around and saw me with her dull green eyes and lovely smile.
What?
Because that's a coherent sentence.
Again, I'm going to try to see if I can figure out if she misspelled something or swapped a word or.
She turned around and saw me with her dull green eyes and lovely smile.
Arachne, can you figure that sentence out?
No heart. She was hurt.
No.
She looked about my age with dark chocolate hair, red paint splattered headphones, music note necklace, and beautiful voice.
Wait. She will detail that much into the headphones, but she'll barely detail her brother hanging himself.
No, that's not important. That's just a catalyst. That's not important for
It
anything.
is a boy.
Wait, what?
We all know.
It is a boy. The main character is a boy.
Okay.
But at the beginning, they called it a girl.
They did?
Yeah.
Well, then maybe it's a trans character. I don't know.
I think we're giving this character more character than it started off with.
Wait, it's her. So, hi, I'm Joy. Music Joy. She chirped.
Take it down.
Okay, somebody needs to punch that woman's mother in the face.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Mark, I said shyly. She smiled. Aren't you the kid who committed suicide's brother?
That.
Aren't you the kid who committed suicide's brother?
I'm just going to say this, but Mark is way too common of a name for anyone to just randomly go, oh, hey, weren't you that one? Or the person is. No, that name is way too common for somebody to get that randomly. And then so fast, nobody's brain works that fast.
Unless she's a stalker.
Oh, goodness. That would explain
Okay, so
Music
the whole
Boy.
sentence, aren't you the kid who committed suicide's brother, is technically correct.
It just sounds weird.
It's just, it's not very cohesive in the sense that it's very confusing. And there's no punctuation. I mean, there's quotation marks, but anyway. Yes, I answered sadly. Oh, that wasn't sadly at all. Yes, I answered sadly.
I'm gonna get rid of the first one because this is completely different than what it. Yes, I said sadly because I wasn't sad.
What the Don't listen to them. Just because you're broken doesn't mean they should change you, she replied.
Maybe she is a stalker because suddenly it feels like we've jumped the gun and she has suddenly become intimate with him, who we used to think was a her.
Because
What?
somehow she knew that he went through psychological help.
Stranger danger, stranger danger.
Oh, goodness.
She's a stalker. Okay.
Yeah.
What? Think about it, she smiled. I saw what she was drawing, no comma. It was filled with gore. Well, if she's your fucking age, she's about that age where that's fascinating. All of a sudden, no comma, her eyes grew red. Her laughter and smile were creepy, and Evil realized that the paint on her headphones was blood.
Wait. Evil realized that they was blood. Okay.
No,
Evil
they
is
was
the one.
that she's evil, even though they didn't put commas or anything.
I
They
know.
was that she's evil.
Nope.
I
Just evil and dot
I don't understand this sentence.
I think it's their way of trying to say that the person is a, like, demon or some kind of fae, but I
Maybe
doubt
it's
they
supposed
would.
to be creepy and evil, semicolon, I realized.
Nope,
Or
but it's
period,
evil
I
realized.
All right. My world spun and I ran home, comma. I looked back and she was gone. That's supposed to be a semicolon, by the way, and a period at the end of gone.
Oh,
If
goodness.
I'm going to rank on it, I'm going to go ahead and rank on punctuation.
Might
I'm
as well.
gonna say
Oh,
this.
fucking author, damn it.
I'm gonna say this right now. If you're being stalked by some weird demon coated in blood, you're probably not gonna get away by running. They'll probably know exactly where you are at any given
They
time.
already do.
Yeah.
I mean, she pointed out the fact that he was the brother of the kid that committed suicide, even though
And she magically knew he had emotional trauma.
Oh my god, I'm looking at the vote and share at the bottom where they rate it. I see one of the ratings is abandoned ship. I'm just like, man, that feels like the perfect thing to say.
Oh goodness.
If you're getting chased by a demon, you call the Winchesters. Come on.
Fuck, I lost my spot. Okay. The next morning, no comma, I was home alone. I heard...
Wait, where are the parents?
Period, not a comma. I heard a tapping on my window, no comma. It was the same girl from yesterday, no comma, only her hair was crazy. Her eyes were blood red, and she had a huge kitchen knife.
Wait, I'm just gonna ask you, how is her hair crazy? Is it poofy? Is it tangled?
Okay.
Is it flying?
Think of a female version of Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens.
Oh goodness.
I was gonna say Ho is made like two little hands of how it's slowly rubbing it together while cackling to itself.
Either one works. They don't give a description.
I'm gonna move on. I was shocked and I ran away, no comma, but somehow she got in.
She's a demon. What the fuck how is this so shocking?
She had a crazed, bloodthirsty look in her eyes, which were now even gorier shade of red. Now, I didn't miss a letter. That's what it says.
There's no such thing as a gorier shade of red. There's a
Unless she's bleeding out of her eyeballs.
Oh.
Did you know there is actually more gelatin in the eye than blood?
Huh.
Well, maybe that's why it's gorier. She's bleeding the gel.
She tackled me and threatened me with a knife. She grinned ear to ear with pointy non-human teeth.
Yep, she's a demon.
No, please, I'm your friend, Music, I begged. She suddenly put her arms down and let go of the knife. She frowned and her eyes returned to their normal dull green. There is no punctuation anywhere in this.
I'm just gonna ask, but when the fuck did they become friends? In that one moment they talked?
I guess.
Did they suddenly gain a
It
10-year
feels like a
relationship?
conversation I have on Inner Pals. Just some guy being like, hello, you are a girl? Yes, we friend now. Awkward.
At least in this case, you could make the argument that he said it to save his own skin, but...
She just stood. Friend? She pondered. I quickly picked up her knife and pointed it at her. She smiled and it took from me.
Yeah, that showed up a demon with a knife. That's underworld.
No punctuation, any of that. She headed out the door and left.
Question, how'd she get in?
Just because you're my friend, expect to hear from me soon, she said. Days later, I felt something draw me to the woods where I met Music.
What?
Well, there's no fucking punctuation.
Why did he skip the
And if she left, was she yelling back at him?
Crazy bitch, you meet my lawyer soon.
To my surprise, I saw Bradley Maine, the guy who killed my brother, all tied up with duct tape. He wasn't there!
Yeah, he wasn't there. He did. Unless there's a giant chunk of the story we missed, which is all possible because they probably left a giant fucking ton of chunks out.
On a nearby tree, I saw a note. How read? A gift for a friend. Then I saw that it all made sense. Music's words, the doctor's lies, everything. I knew exactly what to do. I raced back home and grabbed a knife and a rope. I untied him and hung him from a tree. Couldn't you have used the rope that he was tied up with? I grabbed a knife and split him open. All his organs fell out. I was quite happy with my work. I laughed an evil laugh, the same way as Music. I understood how she felt now. Looked like you didn't know how much you owed me, but it's okay now that I made you pay, I yelled. I ran off and disappeared. Oh, disappeared. Okay, this was my mistake this time. I
Disappeared. I like
ran
it.
off and disappeared into the woods, never to be seen again. This was awful.
I'm going to say this now, but I don't think the person who wrote this story has any idea how difficult it can be to slash somebody open and get their inside spilling. It doesn't take just one strike.
I have a better question.
Better than that.
I have a better question. If the person telling the story disappeared and was never heard from again, how are we getting this story?
Yeah, but also
That's the downside about writing creepypastas in a first-person point of view, because then you have that issue.
I can see it work, like they're saying, where they end it with saying, I'm writing this down on my computer before blah 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 happens.
why did they skip the bully saying or doing anything at all?
Well, I'm going to
Maybe
say
he's
this, since we've got to the end. The writer is random XD LOL, and don't go looking him or her up to, troll him or anything. Don't do that.
No.
I'm going to say this. Like I said, I'm an author, so, and I said before we started this, that, we're here to rank on shit. So, yeah, as this particular story stands, it's very bad. But it has a nice potential in it. I think the story could be fleshed out more. Probably rewritten, probably some more stuff. Actually make it an actual story instead of cramming it together into something that doesn't quite make very good sense. It feels very, very empty.
I think that's because it feels more like they took a bunch of scenes and shoved them together and called it done.
Right. I mean, it's not scary, and it's very hard to feel anything. So, I don't feel anything for these characters in order to do anything, because everything is just kind of smooshed together really, really fast with no buildup and no meaning. So why should I care? So,
Don't touch it again.
but I think if it was reworked the right way, it actually would be an interesting story. Maybe not scary, but still chilling and interesting if it's done right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it may not be scary, but at least it would be readable.
Yeah, so again, like as it is right now, this looks like a really, really, really early first draft where they were just like, just getting it down so they had the story. But here is basically where if you were to rewrite it, you would add more meat and work your scenes so they feel like you are invited in to feel these things and experience things at a slower rate.
Right, and that's kind of what I do with mine is like first I want to kind of get the base kind of in and then kind of fill it in later.
Yeah, so like I said, we were knocking on it, but it can be improved. It is improvable.
Yeah.
It's not, it's terrible as it is, but easily could become something better with a little work.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, random XD LOL. If you enjoy writing, go ahead and keep writing. Definitely think about maybe coming back to this one as you get a little better with your skill, because I think this could be better. And I think that there's potential for it to be better. And I think you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
And it did give us a few laughs, so I'll give you that much too.
Yeah. So don't take anything personally, you just kind of just got to work on it. It's okay. You'll be fine. Everybody has to start somewhere.
Yep.
All right. That actually wasn't too bad. I thought that was actually shorter than I thought it would be.
I wish I could find the first story I ever wrote, but I can't. It would be perfect for this. That's how bad it is.
I'm not even bringing up my first story I ever wrote. It was awful.
You should totally do that. Then you could pick on it yourself.
Well, I actually thought about rewriting it, but it would basically be for like little kids, because I was 4 when I wrote it. And the art was disgusting. Anyway. All right, we're going to do the next one. The shadow on the wall.
Woo!
Whee! Oh god, another block of text. Ugh.
Yeah, they're all good. All three of them are like that.
Ah. All right.
The woman in the theater is also like that. Just for a heads up.
All right. If y'all don't know what I mean by a block of text, it's when you don't separate your paragraphs very well. Your dialogue should be in different paragraphs. Different parts of the scenes and different subjects of the scenes should be in different paragraphs. And there's usually, if you're going to do it the way these people do it, which is, it's just no indentures or anything, you should at least put an extra space between the two paragraphs so it looks more broken up. It makes it easier to read.
Yeah, right
and
now
less
it's like
intimidating
just
for others to read.
wall. Yeah.
Just so y'all know that, by the way.
I'm going to fill my water bottle. I will be right back.
Okay, I'm going to take another sip of this beer that has gotten warm and tastes like hamster bedding.
Ew.
Yeah. It's like it's good and bad at the same time. Oh, God. Glad that bottle's done. Ugh. It was good when I started it. Ugh. Alrighty. We're going to wait for what's her name to get back? Shannon, that's her name. Yes, I forgot her name. I almost called her Amanda. Why is everybody muted? Hello?
I actually don't know why Celius is muted. I was muted because I started up this game and first time start up.
Oh, okay. I was just like, oh my god, everybody's muted. Why? What did I do?
Nah, I just didn't want the loud noises and all of that to
Oh,
disturb
okay.
your reading.
Yeah, for some reason I almost called Shannon Amanda. I got her mixed up with Sirius. What was? Did we call her Ariel? Was that what we called her? She was a friend we used to role play with all the time on Yahoo groups. It's weird that I thought that her and Shannon got mixed up. That's weird. Excuse me. Ugh. Downside of drinking alcohol is that it makes me really freaking hot.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back, Amanda Shannon.
Amanda me? Okay. I'll just go with that then, I guess.
Okay. Okay, I'm still here, right?
Yes.
Okay. I hit one of my wires, so I wasn't sure.
Well, you're not playing a game, so you should be okay.
I should be, yes. All right. So the next one is something I can't read. Okay, the shadow on the wall. Oops. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can get the arrows to work. With the shit nuggets. Come on. Pain in the asshole. I get up from my oh god, present tense. I fucking hate this. Oh no, it's back and forth between present tense and past tense. No. And by the way, I know how that is. It's very freaking hard to. Sometimes it's really hard to do that. Anyway, regardless of that, I get up from my bed. I looked out my window. It was pure darkness. No stars, no moon. Sounds like it's getting ready to be a fairy tale. I smirked.
Or an episode of the Twilight Zone.
Huh?
Either that or an episode of the Twilight Zone.
I smirked as soon as I saw a zombie. Ha! People have such horrible costumes, I say to myself. A few minutes later, I feel a cold hand on my shoulder. I turn around, only to find nothing but a note. I read the note, and it says, I am haunting you for eternity. You'll never know what or who I am. I am your worst nightmare. Now, turn around, pretty face. I shrug and turn around. So fucking casual.
Pretty face?
Friday night for her.
Stranger,
I don't fucking
stranger
know.
danger.
Huh?
I said, stranger danger, stranger danger.
I shrug and turn around just as the note says. There was a strange dark figure on the wall. I thought it was my shadow until the shadow, comma, turned into horrifying nightmare. Okay, you don't need a comma there. The creature had a bloody, oozing, demonic blood. What does demonic blood look like? Serious, what does demonic blood look like?
What?
Are you listening to me? Pay attention! There'll be a quiz after this.
Actually, I was gone briefly because my mom called me for something.
What does oozing demonic blood look like?
Look, demon blood looks like normal blood. It doesn't look oozy. I'm sorry to break it to you. There's no such thing.
Well, according to this person, this shadow thing was bleeding, oozing demonic blood.
It had a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. It whispers to me, I am here. You are here.
Oh,
Now,
I bet
let's
I know what,
finish this.
I bet they know. I know what they were actually seeing. They must have been watching like some sort of pus sore and then mistaken that for blood. They sound stupid enough.
I laugh at the beast. Ha! People and their scary pranks. Well, guess what? I know this is all a prank. This is not a prank, the beast whispers a demonic tune and grows even more terrifying. It was horrendous. His smile started to fade into a darker smile. You don't need a comma there. His eyes disappeared and his hands turned into claws. I squeeze my eyes shut and yell, I will not die today! I wake up. I soon notice it was all a dream. A bad dream, that is. No!
Wait a minute. I'd back up for a minute when the thing was like, yeah, I am here, you are here, let's finish this. I'm thinking, we didn't start anything. You gotta start, we gotta date me first. We gotta go on a date first before we start to finish anything. We gotta start it first.
But I didn't trust my eyes. Sorry, I have to get dramatic now. It's just the kind of story it is. I looked out the window, blinked a few times, and saw the same thing I saw in my dream. A pure dark sky. No clouds, no moon, no stars. I spot the same zombie I saw in my dream as well. I managed to scream a bit. I shut the window as quickly as possible. I start to panic and look behind me. And there it is, the note. And Shannon sneezing.
That was not me.
Oh, wasn't you sneezing? Who was
That was
sneezing?
actually me.
Oh, bless you, Arachne. I forced myself to read it. I expected it to say the same thing it did, but I can't read. I expected it to say the same thing it said before, but it didn't. This time, it was just one word. Shadows.
No.
I was awfully confused. I ran downstairs and picked up my phone to call my mother. My mother works in Colorado while I'm in Canada. She's a great mother for not being here. She just graduated from college a few years ago. Glad we can take this time out to get to know your mother who's in Colorado while you're in Canada.
Yeah.
I remembered, she said. Call me whenever you need me. Remember that. And I seemed to remember it. Once she picked up, there was a stomach sound in the background. Mom, are you there? No response. Mom? Mom! No response. So I yell out her name 5 more times, because why the hell not? Just pick a number out of the random asshole thing. I don't know.
Bob, 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 Bob.
This time, someone, or rather something, responded. You have chosen the wrong choice. It was a dark demonic voice. After that phrase, I heard my mother scream. I heard a chainsaw in the background. No, that can't be, I whispered to myself. The call dropped.
Yes. Well, it's official. He has chosen poorly.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, yeah.
The call drops. Oh, what it is. I turn around. The demonic voice was recognizable. It was the same beast that had just murdered my mother during the call. Really? What
You
do
know this
do?
how?
What do you do? The beast puts his finger to my lips. Shh. This will only kill you. I hear the chainsaw. The beast blindfolds me with a bandana. Sweet dreams, pretty face. I feel the chainsaw slowly cut through my neck. The pain grows fast. I scream for half a second, then close my eyes. What's a good girl? Those were the last words I heard. I quickly died without suffering. You know, except for all that suffering I did. I still have a few questions. Who was that? No. What was that? But most importantly, why was that? I'll never know. The end.
I'm glad that only death came from that, not rape or anything like that. Just death.
And no suffering whatsoever, except for all that suffering.
It sounds like
just the ever so casual. But I still have a few questions. Who was that? Kind of like it was just some paper boy who threw the newspaper in the bird bath. Who was that shit kid?
It sounds like I missed a really crappy story when I was busy with the family stuff.
Oh, don't worry. You can always go back and play it again.
No.
Yeah.
That was oh God, okay.
That was a thing. Yeah.
Oh dear Lord.
She like in some sort of spirit realm.
Oh shit, that scared me.
What?
I look and I see my name. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't write this. And I'm like, oh, I have an account here. Apparently. I apparently have an account here. That would explain why my name's over here. Like, I didn't fucking write that.
We all know you didn't write that.
Oh boy.
Okay, I have to do this. Just because I find it amusing. I have to read one of the comments somebody put on this. I did not enjoy reading this demonic story. It was too demonic and full of demonic cliches. Not to mention the demonic fact that it didn't make a demonic ounce of demonic sense. Demonic, 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 demonic. And other demonic words, do not use demonic as a demonic adjective. It tells the demonic reader absolutely nothing about the demonic creature you are supposed to be describing. You don't seem to pay much attention to what you write. For example, you say that you felt pain as the chainsaw cut through your neck. Are we supposed to be frightened by this? But then you go to say that you died a painless death. A quick reread through brought this to your attention. If you care so little about your story that you can't be bothered to look back over what you've written, you have no right to expect others to care about it either.
I still like the first half of that.
As for the second half, this person is correct.
Right. If you don't care, why should
you care
anyone
about
else?
it and you put care into it, then we'll show more care for it. But if you don't care about it, why should we? But yeah, the first paragraph just had me kind of chuckling to myself, so I had to share it.
I'm like, yeah, it's like this.
I don't know who wrote this. It doesn't say who wrote it.
Well, Blue Fox wrote the fun.
Yeah,
after.
Blue Fox wrote the comment, but I don't know who wrote the pasta. But anyway, this reminds me of Evil Dead for some reason, like the old one.
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of.
Well, at least they were. Oh goodness.
Anyway, I don't know what else to say about that.
At least with the Evil Dead, they were actually had.
Well, yeah, it was meant to be a comedic kind of look.
Right.
But this really didn't make a whole lot of sense for me. I didn't get the feeling of dread. It just felt like someone got really, really drunk and really high on meds and then just started typing shit.
Either that or they let their cat do it.
Oh, I'm just saying, maybe that's why your name was beside it, Raven.
Some drunk on meds and let the cat type.
I did not write this.
No, she's drinking alcohol right now, and she's doped up on meds.
I didn't take my meds today.
That's why you don't remember writing it.
I didn't write it. I don't write like that.
Which is nice. We've had this.
Yeah, but there's no name on it.
I wouldn't put my name on that shit either.
Yeah, it says my name down here so I could leave a comment, but I'm not going to.
Hey, maybe you could write a demonic comment.
Shut up. I can have the demonic person write a demonic comment.
No, thank you.
All right. Anyway. Well, that one, I don't know how to save that one. You can definitely turn it into like a troll pasta and make it like kind of funny, but just kind of wasn't feeling it. Ew, God. Sorry.
I just nonsensicalness of everything.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yep.
Who the hell messaged me? Let me
Don't
see real quick since we're between stories. Oh. I have a friend telling me about Delaware. Anyway.
Yay.
The next one we're going to read is The Woman in the Theater.
You're going to love the grammar on this, I bet.
You know, at least we know what we're getting into. Caps lock is cruise control for crappy, cliched crap and lazy writing. Thank you for being honest. That is very, very straightforward and honest. I gotta say, though, so far, this is the best formatted.
So it's not a total wall of text?
It's not like ideally formatted, but it's better.
Yay for not being a wall of text.
Yeah, it's not really a wall of text. It actually feels like there's some spacing in there, just not as much as I'd like. But it's a step up. So let's be on our way.
Yeah, let's watch us step down again.
Me and my schoolmates were having a theater show the same day that it all started. By the way, there's another E in were.
Yeah.
Our parents were a little bit scared of the theater that we were going to do our show. The E that's on our should probably be the E that goes on were, and O needs to be capitalized. I know I'm being picky. There's actually not a whole lot.
Or parents.
There's actually not a whole lot of problem in the first two sentences besides like little things.
maybe that's a sign that we're reading stories from seals. Or parents.
They told us that little children and workers from the theater were going missing. Also, strange sounds were heard every time that someone got missing. There's no I in strange.
Wait, they put stringers?
It's STRIANGE is what's there. You don't need the I in there.
For a moment, I thought when you said I thought they put stringers or something. Like, what the hell is a stringer?
We weren't, no apostrophe, scared because probably they were just joking around with us. Sorry. I'm actually having fun with this one. Okay, this one's fun. This one's fun.
I thought this one might be.
I kind of like this one. No matter how good or bad it is, I kind of like this one. This is fun. Anyway.
Because of the random emphasis on where the
It's like, what the shit? Anyways, no comma. The show started, no comma, but just when we were going to start, the power went off. I think there's another comma that needs to go in there. This person totally knows what they're doing.
Oh my god.
They know. They know. And I think that's why it's fun. I think that's why it's so funny, because they know what they're doing.
Oh.
Oh god.
Hey, it's better than making everything demonic on not purposeful.
Oh god. The people of the theater start searching the problem, and the parents start getting worried.
They start searching the front.
We were just upset. You know, we were only just upset. Oh, God.
They're searching the problem. Okay. Oh, well, the problem is you're out of power. Now we have to find out why. So
This is actually entertaining. I'm having a good time with this one. Then, no comma, after a few minutes later, comma, everything was silent for us. There is another E in everything, by the way. We didn't, no apostrophe, hear our parents or the workers of the theater, no comma. We were just alone in the same place without hearing anything. Okay.
What?
They didn't hear anything. Then a tiny light starts shining very low. I think you need an S on that start, so it starts. And we saw a shadow of a woman approaching. There's another P in approaching, by the way. We thought, I forgot the H, that it was a worker, no comma, but when she get more closer, I don't need to say anything more to that one. We noticed that she wasn't, no apostrophe, a normal woman.
I gotta breathe. Okay. I'm good.
She was tall, with a gray skin. Just a gray skin.
With a gray skin. She has multiple types of skins.
Also, no comma, a long blue dress with a black hair and blood all over her body. And those eyes, especially those damn eyes.
The way you're talking reminds me of that one teacher Fairly Odd Parents.
Here we go, parents!
Okay, now I have to go to the bathroom. Give me a minute. I have to go.
I'm gonna feel
I'll be
bad.
right back. Oh my gosh.
Oh, good. I think my cousin's listening to me
Why?
because she just sent me a message on Facebook.
Oh, goodness.
I have to wait for Shannon to come back before I finish because the rest of it's going to be yelling.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
it hurts.
honey.
Oh, it's almost over.
Oh.
I actually could have read more of this. There's only like a couple paragraphs left, so not even very long.
Oh.
Mizaki Chikro, are you Lisa? You're Lisa, aren't you?
What?
In the YouTube chat.
Oh.
Hold on a second. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I think she wants to join.
Huh.
All right, let me go on my actual Facebook on my computer so I can actually give her the link.
Okay. What now?
I'm gonna try and invite my cousin into the Hangouts.
Sure.
That should be fun.
She wanted to join in because she's cracking up really hard.
I don't blame her.
She's on the channel? Sweet.
Let's see, gotta find her thing. There she is, found her thing.
Oh.
Okay, so. All right.
Also, hi, Misa.
That is the link to our Hangout. If you have a mic, you can chit chat with us and piss yourself laughing.
Or in my case, almost.
I don't think anyone's actually pissed themselves laughing, and the closest we got to that was Shannon.
Actually, I did.
I had Shannon laughing so hard she pissed herself
She did.
once.
She did.
Hey, dude, you asked.
I did.
Yeah, you said you didn't think anybody has. I have.
I am victorious and mighty.
I shouldn't be that surprised. Aki was also the one that wrote Warm-Hearted. Oh.
That has
Nobody
nothing to
pissed
do with
themselves
pissing
during
myself
that. That's
laughing.
not funny.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not funny, but you gloated about making 3 out of 3 guys cry.
Well, let's not talk about that one. That's going to spoil the thing.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil too much. Oh, okay. She's installing it now. She'll be here in a minute. So we're gonna go ahead and let her come in, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish the particular story, and I will start another one. But so I apologize to Chris upstairs and my neighbor for the next part.
Oh, boy.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, we ran. Each one hide in a different spot. Okay. Sorry. One hides in a different spot. Okay. Then, no comma, the woman start approaching to each one of the hiding spots. Oh, wait. I said that wrong. Each one of the hiding spots. When the woman saw one of my schoolmates
Log hands? What the fuck do those look like?
Log, it's been 20 foot.
Long. It's better than fun. It's good.
Man, I made myself dizzy with that.
Is that the 14th Amendment they forgot to tell me about, the right to log out?
Oh.
No, it's right.
I tell you what, as soon as I got to blood all over the place, I suddenly went, blood is on the dance floor, blood is in the night.
Oh my goodness.
Michael Jackson, blood on the dance floor.
I know, I love that song, and I should,
Okay, myself.
I should be totally grooving to that song when we're in the middle of a story.
Yeah. Technically, no, Arachne, it's the right to bear arms and the right to log hands.
Oh.
That'd be one freaky looking fucking creature.
Get on that, Sirius.
I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh. The power return and the blood disappear. Just as our friend. We never returned into that horrible place. After that, the law decided to close it and start investigating. Now every night I see her in my head laughing in the same place as the last time. Also, one day I dream about her killing the police officer one by one.
What?
Yeah. Oh, God. Who the fuck wrote this?
Whoever did is a complete troll.
Oh, God, who the hell wrote this?
I love this. This is kind of like. Yep.
I have no idea who wrote this, but whoever wrote that, that was fucking awesome.
That was fantastic. Kind of reminds me of the early parts of My Immortals. Just so freaking stupid. I liked it because it made me laugh so hard. It was so bad, but it just so freaking stupid.
Right?
It's so fun. It was funny because of the way they did it.
Oh, my God, the first comment. This has a few flaws. Really? But actually, as quote unquote bad as it was, that was so much fun. Oh my God, that was great.
Well, that's because it's pretty obvious they made it bad on purpose.
Yeah, I think it was pretty either intentional or just someone being really honest with themselves, because that was freaking hilarious. Like, what the fuck did I just read? That was fun. Oh, my face hurts. My throat was all scratchy.
Oh, my sides were hurting. And
Oh, that was great.
I couldn't. Oh, that was fantastic.
Oh, it hurts.
This may have to be a reoccurring thing. Not like every time, but like every so often we just come back to this because holy crap, that was fun.
That was hilarious. Whew. I need it. All right. Okay, Lisa is installing Google Hangouts, so she should be here soon. Sorry. All right.
Before we start with the next story, I just seen something on Facebook that pisses me off.
You know what really grinds his gears?
When one of the ghosts stops moving, and so the other one is just constantly grinding on it.
What?
When one of the ghosts stop moving, so it's held in place, and the other one is just grinding on it, it's grinding my ghost.
Yep.
No, one of the pages that was recommended to me was called Sugar Scott. I was like, okay, well, I'll check it out. The very first fucking image on it is somebody getting a tattoo that said, Trump is not my fucking president. What the fuck does that have to do with fucking sugar scars?
Right?
has nothing to do with anything.
No.
I did on Facebook though. I did show a pretty cool Suguska group. Another one I found, which is Suguska Culture. You can go down and get different t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, comforters, and all of that with Day of the Dead and Suguska patterns on it.
She says it's taking forever, but she's still working on it.
I do actually have one story I could recommend. It's not a creepypasta, but it's written in a similar style as whatever the heck that one was, because grammar is not a thing.
That was just so much fun. Like, I didn't even care that it was bad and had like almost no freaking story. If this person really wanted to, I kind of feel like if this person really wanted to, they could actually do something with that story to make it longer and more
Nonsensical?
well, less nonsensical.
Oh, what would be the fun in that?
I think that if they really wanted to, they could actually make a nice little story out of that. But for the way it's written now, that was like perfect for what I wanted to do tonight. And it's like I don't feel bad about making fun of it because like it was the key word set it up for that.
The fun in that, Shannon, is that we're here to mostly, try to help them improve, not just sit on them and be a horrible prick.
Yeah.
So telling them that they could work on it and improve it, and
Yeah,
I
I don't want to be just that makes fun of their work. It's like if I feel like there's potential, like I could probably if the right steps were made for this, like certain things added so that it made more sense and it was a more cohesive story, I think it would be okay.
Honestly, I think this is a great story as it is, but that's because it's so bad it's hilarious.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's why I said that in the first place. It was like, the fun in that. It's like, I like stories that are just.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a troll plot, and that's enjoyable. So that I have a feeling, if that's what it's meant to be, then it did what it was supposed to do. I had a lot of fun reading it. Sorry, I'm still laughing. That was a lot of fun.
It's not a this one isn't a creepypasta, but this one's fun to listen to.
Okay.
As far you would
fan
probably
fiction.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, good.
Half-life, full life consequences.
I listened to someone read it once, and it's like, this is fantastic. This is so stupid, but it's fantastic.
I don't know anything about Half-Life.
Me as well.
I don't either.
I'm like the only one who probably catch 99% of the references to Half-Life.
Yeah.
I probably won't read this one though. I may, maybe someday in the future, but right now I'm not going to.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's a potential thing there. Is that?
Although the well isn't supposed to be funny or bad, so.
All right. We actually knocked out quite a few in the last hour.
Huh. It's already been an hour?
Yeah, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Aw, she can't get on. She's having a hard time. That's okay, Lisa. Just chit chat with us in Yahoo. God damn it, again!
Oh my!
I'm gonna have to reinstall fucking Yahoo. I'm gonna need to stop drinking so I can remember my login for Yahoo, but that's a different story.
Damn it!
You just wow, that was quite the spit take.
When I figure out my Yahoo, I'll add you and talk to you on Yahoo. Yes.
Oh god.
Okay. Okay.
Hold on a second.
Oh.
Is
Okay.
Yahoo Messenger even a thing?
It
It
was.
was.
Well,
It's
yeah,
still
so was MSN Messenger, Downing.
Yahoo Messenger still exists.
Yep. It's crappy nowadays, but it still exists.
As if it was good before.
Actually,
Yes, okay for a while.
It was actually my preference for a long time.
Yeah, I used it more than AOL, and I got into MSN solely before MSN died. But with AOL, growing up, all you ever heard about is how it got hacked and all of that. It's like Yahoo. But even I had issues with Yahoo. Well, it wouldn't pick up my webcam, wouldn't pick up my mic. It was constantly disconnecting me.
Okay, now I have to pick what the next one's going to be.
Back when I was using Yahoo, it performed like Skype performs now.
I never had too many problems with Yahoo or MSN or AOL at the time, but then again, I haven't used any of those for a while. So
AOL isn't too bad. AOL Messenger, I actually installed that like last year because I had a friend that used it, but then they decided to just go ahead and get Skype, and so I uninstalled it. It wasn't too bad.
yeah, like I said, I didn't have any problems with any of the three, and there for a while I had all three of them. And
Okay.
Anyway, decide what the next story is.
All right.
Yes.
I've decided what the next one's going to be. This one's called Truth or Dare.
Truth. No, wait, no, no. No.
Come on, let's get to the story.
Fine.
Antsy pants.
Hey, I linked this story to, I told Aki about the story. I didn't direct link it, I think.
Okay, now it's your turn, Chloe cheered loudly. Shh, you're going to wake up your mom, said Chrissy. Oops, sorry. Tee-hee. So truth or dare. Sorry, I had to do the TV like that. So truth or dare? Truth. Chrissy seemed to be hesitating, but Chloe couldn't have it. Why truth? That's boring. You never pick dare. Chicken. But chicken. Chloe crossed her arms and turned away. Fine. Dare then. What do you want me to do? Ooh, the possibilities.
Oh, goodness.
I want you to go to my mother's room, flicker the lights, and slam the bedroom door shut. Chloe pointed towards the door in the hallway. Right next to Chloe's bedroom, facing the stairs. Okay. Just to scare my mother because she forbade us to talk so late at night. Yeah, this is totally going to go well. Are you sure? Asked Chrissy. Won't I get caught? Maybe she'll find out we've been up all this time. Maybe she'll get mad and maybe I won't be able to come over anymore. Why, of course not, silly. What is she, 40? She'll probably blame me anyways. Now go for it. Go. Dear Lord, use periods, will you? Chrissy went into the hallway, and as Chloe said, she flickered the lights, closed the bedroom door with a loud slam, enjoying the sound of her mother's loud gasp, then returned to Chloe's bedroom. Closing the door behind her, they giggled together about what Chrissy just did. The giggling stopped when Chloe's mother had found her way to the hallway, stopping towards Chloe's room, frustrated. Chloe quickly gathered the Ouija board, candles, books, and other micmac. Micmac? Don't you mean knickknacks?
Nope.
Threw it in a corner, jumped in her bed, and pretended to sleep. Her mother opened the door, about to say something, but didn't. She sighed, stood there for a second, then closed the door again. She retrieved to her bedroom, went back to sleep, keeping the lights on and the door closed this time. After a few minutes, Chloe crawled out of bed quietly, grabbed the Ouija board, and searched the ground for the playing chart. She then sat down in the middle of the room again, lighting 4 candles and spelling out the words, "That was a close call," on the Ouija board. Oh!
Yeah, this wasn't.
I get it!
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it had a clever ending. That's why I brought it up.
First, I was like, this is a really stupid fucking story. And then I get to the end, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. That was actually done by I Quack in the Dark. You got me. You got me.
Quack.
Yeah, you definitely got me. It took me a minute.
I guess you could say that was a lot to quack about.
That actually wasn't too bad. Once it actually got to it's kind of like Doors. Remember that one when I read that one? It's kind of like that one where like it's like this is really stupid. And then at the end it's like, oh, now it all makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. No, actually wasn't too bad. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't link it as something bad, but just something to read. I actually wasn't able to find any bad ones besides the top 10 worst list thing.
Although I am a little confused. Because why would forget it. Never mind. Anyway, I'm not gonna think too hard on it. That was interesting.
She was dead.
Well, I know, but I was trying to figure out which one was who. Was Chloe the one that's dead, or is Chrissy the one that's dead?
Chloe was the one that was dead.
Okay, Chloe's the dead one. Okay.
Yes. I forget if Chloe was the mom's daughter or not.
That'd be a fucking dream come true.
I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, it says right next to Chloe's bedroom. And it says just to scare my mother. That's why I was confused. I'm like, well, if it was Chrissy, that'd be one thing. So there are some things I'm questioning. But overall, I get the concept. It's an interesting concept. I'm okay with this. All right. Now, should we go to another one that could be good, or should we go to one of the top 10 worst creepypastas?
Since though you said that one wasn't too bad, I say go to number 10. The one of the ones on the top 10.
All right.
Yes.
Try to keep it evenly balanced between city and good.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And you guys are out there are probably going to know exactly what half of these are, since they're all bad. All right. Anyway, the person in YouTube chat right now is my cousin. If y'all curious. Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and just start with a classic. Ouch! I got a boo-boo on my finger.
That's quite the title for a creepypasta.
That's a new one to me.
Ouch! I got a boo-boo on my finger.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't heard that one before.
That damn. Come on, stupid mouse. Back. Whatever.
Random Arnold impression. Stupid mouse.
Okay, she's going to bed now, so.
Okay.
Is there actually an actual creepypasta for me to read? Do I get to read it? Okay, it's just a list. It doesn't even. Okay.
Well, I can look up the thing. What are we looking for?
Okay. Well, the top 10 worst that are on here.
Well, what do you want to read? I'll look it up.
Let me see. I was gonna read Jeff the Killer, but let me see what the other ones
Okay.
are. Sonic EXE, Clockwork, Your Time Is Up. I've never read that one. I don't even know what that one is.
Oh, Clockwork?
Yeah, I've never heard of Clockwork.
Would you want to do that one instead of Jeff? I can look up either of them.
Go for it. Clockwork, Your Time Is Up. These people are saying it's really bad and funny.
Sonic EXE isn't too good. I voted.
No, that one I know because I've heard Phalis do. Phalis did Sonic EXE. I forget what the other one was.
Yeah. So
It's so fucking boring.
That's kind of why I was like I don't know if I want to do those because Old Man does Creepypasta. Those were the ones that Phalis did. So, maybe someday we could do them. I just don't want to do them too soon.
Where the heck is it?
In the meantime,
I'm looking.
all right.
We can read the well while she's looking.
I was actually just looking at the well. I just went to that tab.
Although, just to warn you, it is on the based on true stories area, so
Oh, this is actually kind of long, isn't it?
it's a good story. It's just kind of fucked up. But that's what a creepypasta is all about.
Okay. Who the hell wrote this?
I have no idea.
This one's kind of long too.
Yeah, like some of these have names on them and some of them don't. I would have thought I would have been able to see who submitted it.
Well, that's the thing about creepypastas. They originally started as anonymous stories.
Not even that. Well, not even that. The original one actually comes from the term creepypasta, which you would get like the send this to so and so many people, or
Yeah,
the dead girl will
copy-paste.
come kill you. That kind of thing. That's actually where the term came from. I found Clockwork, but it's kind of long too.
Like how long we talking?
Let me.
Yeah, send me the link and let me see.
Yeah.
No, that used to be my dating strategy.
Oh, goodness.
Now replying back to those fucking chainmails, and if the bitch showed up in my bedroom, just tying her up and keeping her.
The fuck?
It never worked out. I was kind of disappointed.
Oh, goodness.
I was hey, in my defense, I was promised a, demon girl would show up in my bedroom.
What?
Oh, a ghost girl.
Not all of them was ghosts, Shannon.
No one
You also like the rake. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
All right. I guess. Let me see. How long is it? Dear Lord. All right.
If we're gonna do long ones, take your pick which one you want to read.
That's definitely a longer one. I'm gonna wait to do that one. I'm going to do. Let's see how long this one is. A lot of these are. Oh, this one actually has an author. Okay.
Not up to doing the well right now?
Hold on. Okay, I need to get rid of that. Oh shit! No.
What?
Okay, we're okay.
You're good. You're good.
I'm good.
Here's Silent Scarlet. It's a shorter one. I have no idea what it is.
It's probably about Scarlet keeping her mouth shut. I had to.
Why does this keep? I can't wait till I can get a new laptop.
I
I love the tag. Not sure if troll. Oh God. Okay. I guess I'll do the well first, but I need to get a drink first.
Aki sounds like she's on death row.
Oh, that's awful. Not as bad as warm beer. All right. We're going to do the well.
I'm gonna fetch me something to eat. You can continue eating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to do it this one because this one is said to be based on a true story. So I don't want to be disrespectful, but I do want to read this one. So we'll see what happens. I mean, already I'm kind of getting an uncomfortable vibe from this.
Well, it definitely has an uncomfortable time frame.
Yes. So
Everyone will find out soon enough what we mean.
all right. My grandfather grew up on a chicken farm outside of Krakow, Poland. That should be all you need to say before you figure it out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He passed away a few years ago at the age of 82. A few days before his passing on, due to an aggressive form of stomach cancer, he sat me down next to him in his old rocking chair and said in his familiar Polish accent, which I will not do, "After I took the boat to New York, I promised to leave this story behind." He didn't look up as he spoke to me, simply staring into his cup of black coffee. It's been 70 years, and I must tell someone before I meet God. I was born in a small, quaint, empty town, which, despite the Nazi occupation, still functioned. We lived in this 2-bedroom farmhouse, my father, mother, and my brothers, Michael and Igor. Or is it Michael and Igor? I don't know. I'm sorry you never got to meet any of them. Anyway, Michael and Igor were twins. Identical twins, actually. And we had heard rumors of the Nazi fascination with identical twins. Oh, God. I know where this is going.
Oh, no.
No, you don't.
I already know where it's going.
No, you don't. Keep going.
I don't. This isn't a Mengele story?
Keep going. It's not a Mengele story.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry.
This forced us, and we already lived in a secluded part of the countryside in the last occupied house in the town, to be even more reserved. That sentence feels like it should be set up differently. In order to not go into the occupied towns, we basically ate only chicken and eggs for every meal, and whatever Mama could gather from the garden. It was lonely, but we survived. Ouch! What the fuck just poked me? I have no idea. The only two things which were really hard on me were the fact that I had to sleep in the basement due to why are you changing the spelling of the guy's name? Fine. Due to Michael and Igor being toddlers, they required my father and mother's attention. The basement was cold, with only a small window, and moonlight was the only light I got. Because of this, I always delayed going down there until I was absolutely exhausted, so I wouldn't have to lie there awake. On the nights that I couldn't manage to sleep, I would look out of the window, which gave me a small view of the garden and the large abandoned water well. This was my daily activity throughout those lonely, war-torn nights. In general, it was boring and uneventful, but occasionally I would catch a glimpse of a family, or even just a man or two lovers sneaking their way through our garden up to our front door. They always looked rushed and frightened, and sometimes wore tattered uniforms. What would follow were horrible sounds of banging and pleadings for whoever lived there to open up, followed by an argument between my father and mother over whether we should let them in. He moved in the chair to adjust himself. You see, son, we didn't know it. Well, I at least didn't. That we lived fairly close to the Auschwitz concentration camp, and those people were escapees. Well, did your father let them in? I asked impatiently. No, he said. It would have been a death sentence for them, as well as for us. The Nazis didn't like Poles, but they tolerated us, and it was easier to hide Michael and Igor than an entire family. My father did what he had to do in order to keep his family alive. As the war went on, less and less people began showing up in the middle of the night. Our only chicken and vegetables began to disappear. Losing our only supply of food would not have been possible. And at this point, my father knew it was probably the escapees, so he built a fence around our property. Despite this, the chickens continued to disappear. They weren't killed. They were simply gone, just vanished from their cages and pens. One night, I decided to stay up myself in order to see if I could find out the answer. I battled my tiredness until the wee hours of the morning, and despite the poor lighting and rain, I caught a glimpse of what seemed to be a human figure run across the garden. I rushed upstairs to tell my father, and he ran outside with a knife, the best home defense weapon he could afford. But we found nothing. No one. The next day, we did find something, though. Footprints leading from the chicken cages to the water well. They were made in the wet mud from the rain, and they were of bare feet. No shoes, no socks, just feet. My father had mercy on the man who was trying to find refuge and left him a note indicating that he had 2 days to leave, and then we would begin to seal the well. I waited impatiently for my grandfather to tell me the fate of the man. The following night, I conjured up the idea to take a blanket down to the well to the man since winter was creeping in. I waited until my parents were asleep and I snuck outside. I shouted down the well something friendly, indicating to the poor man my intentions were benign. And I began my descent, hands and feet clinging to the pegs which were attached to the stones. This is making me feel really uncomfortable. As I was approached the bottom, okay
then.
I smelled something absolutely horrific, and I pulled my father's flashlight from my pocket and tried to shine it on the man, coming to the realization of just how large this well was, since it used to supply water for the entire town and its families which no longer remained. But I found no man, only a hole in the stone where the wall of the well had collapsed, opening up to some type of crevice, only 2 meters wide and 3 meters deep and tall. Inside sat not a man. Inside was a family, with only a skeleton-like creature as the only survivor. The light reflected off his sunken eyes and grayish skin, face covered in blood, with chicken carcass scattered around, a pile of decomposing chickens next to a woman, a son, and a daughter, the children who must have been barely 5 years old. And they seemed to have been dead for weeks. The man, if he even could be called that, just stared at the light, and I stared back, incapable of breaking his stare. I did not feel threatened by him, for he lacked any sense of aggression. He simply sat there, crouched over, without a sound, next to the putrefying body of his loved ones and the chickens he could have only been using as his source of water, as their meat was not eaten. He was empty, devoid of whatever in us makes us human. He should have realized his family was dead long ago, but he was still bringing food to their corpses. He couldn't accept it. He did finally turn his head, though, and I shined the light back onto the corpse of his daughter. He stared at her and sat down closer to her and continued to stare. You can leave now. I'll open the gate so you can escape. My father will seal the well in the morning, I said to him. Please leave now. My young voice and advice didn't seem to have any effect on him. At this moment, I decided it would be better for me to just climb back up the well and leave. Hopefully the man would follow and escape. As I began my climb, I shined the light on him one final time. What did you see, Grandpa? I shuddered. A tear fall from his eye. He had become a man once again. He broke free from the delusion. Only when he saw the body of his dead daughter, which had been hidden by the darkness, he realized he had been bringing food, not to his family, but to corpses. That night, it rained again, but I found no footprints leaving the well in the morning when my father sealed it. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's kind of sad.
I
Yeah.
bet he stayed with them.
Yeah. He stayed with them. It's pretty obvious he died and gave up all thoughts of life.
Yeah, this one doesn't have an author on it, but that was actually really damn good.
Yeah, it was. That's rather depressing.
Yes, it's very depressing. That was a really good story.
Mm-hmm.
Only good stories can make you feel that depressed.
I know. The thing is, like, why put it on a creepypasta page? If you put this in the right, in the right format, it's not too bad. But if you reformatted this, you could easily publish this as a short story.
Honestly, creepypastas weren't originally supposed to be just creepy stories, but just copy-paste stories.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm just saying, for a creepypasta forum, I think I would rather see this story as a short story where more people have, I guess, I don't know. I guess it's because, that's what I would do. But, over, it was a really good story. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't scary or creepy or anything, but it was a really good story. I honestly did not know where it was going to go, so.
Honestly, if anything, I would have put that not as a creepypasta, but as a feels pasta.
Yeah, it was actually a really good story. So whoever put that one up, that was a good story.
Right.
I feel for your grandfather. I mean, I don't know anything personally about that, but that couldn't have been easy if that's the case. So okay. Anyway,
Yeah, now we're gonna find something fun.
Yes.
The mood.
let's read Silent Scarlet. Because I really had no way to really make fun of that.
There was no way.
I
As soon as you
couldn't do it.
started it, it's like, this is not gonna
Yeah, it's like, I can't make fun of this.
Yeah, I kind of figured that would be one that couldn't really be made fun of, but would still be a nice read.
Yeah, it's a good story.
All right. Silent Scarlet.
Let's see how fun this is.
A young girl, age 5, sat in her room as her father and mother were having another one of their fights. Thank you, Brissy. Yes, that dance made it totally worth it to read that sentence.
What?
She came up here and made this little dance. Now she's looking at me like, giving me that head tilt, like, what? All right.
Oh, that at least helped the mood.
Oh my god, she's so fucking round now. It's funny looking. Cause like she used to be so skinny, now I just see like a smaller front half and a really round back end. When she's sitting. You're so cute. All right. I hate that thing up there in her room. I never wanted her. She's just a child, Sam. By the way, not very many pieces of punctuation here. I don't care, Mary. All they do is scream and make a mess. She heard her father coming upstairs, hugging her knees, while, misspelled, her father came into her room. In his hands, he held While her father came into her room, in his hands he held his belt. Not his belt, his belt.
Okay.
Goodness.
This is for knocking over my coffee, you little beef.
Okay then.
Well, there's no T, so it doesn't say bitch. It says beef, which is German, I think. Anyway. What the? Okay, see, time skip already. 13 years passed. 13 years passed, nothing changed. The young girl was now 18 and sat in her room drawing anime gore and anything that came into her mind.
It's like a weird variation on Clockwork. The one I sent. The other one. The Clockwork.
Yeah, I saw that. And it looked like it had like the same opening.
Similar, except one had a giraffe and one didn't. Or something. One had a plush one.
She was homeschooled because it was hard for her to be with other children. They made fun of her for being so quiet. They called her Silent Scarlet. They all poked her with insulting and a few beatings before classes. Her little sister Lucy came up to her big sister. Sissy, when is mommy coming home? Around 2, Lucy, don't worry, I'm here. She gave her little sister a smile. Okay, Lucy skipped out of the room. It sounds weird is because I'm reading it as the run-on sentence that it is.
Yep.
2 days passed. Lucy? Lucy, Scarlet called to her sister. No reply. Lucy! No one answered. If you're looking for Lucy, she's outside, her father said. Scarlet went outside. Lucy, come inside. It was snowing out like always.
Where the heck do they live? In the Arctic?
Scarlet saw a lump in the snow. She was puzzled walking near it. She saw that it was her dead gray freezing sister.
What?
Freezing, not freezing, freezing.
Her dead gray freezing.
Scarlet cried and hit the sink's corner. What? What? I thought you were outside.
I guess they have outside sinks.
No, you are fine, Father made her sit in the cold. She laughed. No, this was what I want. She took a butter, B-U-D-D-E-R, knife and stabbed it in her eye. She felt no pain, and when her eye was out, her mother came in and rushed her to the hospital.
Spitly. Yep.
A few days later, she came back with no eye, but couldn't see it because she was banged. Yeah. I can't read that word. Did a little blood on the gauze that held the blood in her. That night she lay there in her bed. Soon she got up and had no control herself, but could see what she was doing. Going into the basement, she found a ice pick for when the ice got bad in the area around them.
Okay, you're having fun.
Oh, picking it up, she gripped the handle. Adrenaline raced through her veins. A dark chuckle escaped her lips.
Dark chuckle? Okay.
Walking slowly into her father's room, snoring could be heard. Her father in a deep sleep. Scarlet walked over to her father and lifted up the ice pick, and before she slammed it into her father's forehead, she said, "Hey, don't you remember me, Dad?" And with that, she slammed it into she father's face. blood everywhere. Eskimo jacket and bandages. She lights up the blood from her ice pick. Goodbye, father. And with that, she jumped out the window and ran into the forest, but met by a tall, faceless man who saved her from dying in the dreaded forest.
So, in short,
Chico
she's
Man,
a
what the
Slenderman
hell?
proxy. What now?
This was written by Chico Men. I think that's how you say it. What the
Something
hell
about
was this?
it sounds like a poor Slenderman proxy.
It kind of sounds, it's kind of, just from what I gathered from what Clockwork was supposed to be from the comments I read, it looks like, yeah, it looks kind of like Clockwork, Jeff the Killer, and Slenderman.
Well, Clockwork is. Yeah, this. I don't even know if I would put this as I guess a little bit of Jeff because killing part of your family, but then again, I don't remember everything from Clockwork. But yeah, enough to know that yeah, they definitely took a lot from Clockwork and threw in Slenderman.
Yeah, that was what I don't even know. But you know what? I'm not even mad because it even says cliched crap, kill the killers, lazy writing, less gore, more creepy, not sure if troll.
Yep.
So you know what? I ain't even mad. Ain't even mad.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. We're going to go back to Creepypasta, and this is going to be, I have no idea how to pronounce this. Josza's Grove? Or is it Josza's Grove?
I have no idea.
Okay, we know what? We're fucking Americans. We're going to call it Josza's Grove and just be really bad at pronouncing shit we probably are pronouncing wrong. Crumbs. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Okay. You're twisting my words again. As I've already said 100 times, I have no simple answers for your questions. You can't expect me to respond yes or no to questions about complex matters that I haven't even begun to recover from. Jerry, you know better than any of these assholes that I'm not the kind of guy who rattles easily. I don't belong in this loony bin. Yes, I did agree to cooperate. If I have to answer you straight, then I will, but only if you'll let me explain the details. I admit to spending the previous weekend with Arthur and Samantha Duncan at the Old Mill estate on Riley's Rock, and I confess to the property's hasty demolition. The Duncans' murders are thankfully not on my conscience, but my inability to prevent them is. The bullet was mine, but I didn't kill Sam. She was already dead. I just killed that bitch that stole her body. Not sure what that adds up to in court. And I didn't do it all in a raving mania. You gotta believe me. Through this whole incident, I was perfectly sound in mind until I uprooted that damn tree. It was that final horror that sent me off the deep end and ultimately landed me here. I really don't expect any of you to believe what I'm about to disclose. But I've got the right to explain myself. I need another whiskey before I start, Jerry, if you don't mind. Me too. The Duncans wanted to turn the estate into a vacation resort. God knows the place had more rooms than anyone knew what to do with. Art never told me how he got his hands on the property, just that he wanted me in charge of the hotel security. I needed the money and hadn't had a steady income since the war. Art had better luck in that area, the rich bastard. Besides that, he felt like he owed me one for that bullet I caught in his stead. What are you doing, Britsy? Britsy. Britsy. Britsy.
Fancy.
Britsy. What are you doing, Britsy? Thank you.
What was your cat doing?
Running around in circles on all the boxes and bags. Now she's sitting on the little thingy. Okay.
Weird cat.
Yes.
Catty cat. Yep.
He and the wife had to bring their own hired help, 4 foreigners who didn't speak a word of English because they couldn't find any in town. The locals weren't crazy about the place. We were told that centuries ago, a tribe of druids tainted the rock with ritual blood spilling, which none of us considered very seriously at all, though it still almost turned Sam off the place. Sweetest lady I ever knew, but a little too sensitive sometimes, even for a Catholic. Well, all right then.
Okay.
Why did that sound weirdly judgmental?
Right? Even for a Catholic. Jesus Christ, what?
Well, God,
I have to cut her a little slack, though. After her last stillbirth, she stopped taking her meds, and her neurotic lapses got more frequent.
okay, that explains things then.
Okay, then.
Doesn't sound like he's giving them any slack.
Come on. There we go.
Seriously, if she ends up killing him in this story at some point, I won't be shocked.
Ephraim and... Okay, it is Josza. Ephraim and Josza Schau were Jewish immigrants who migrated to the States a century ago and built the hotel on the rock with the same dream as the Duncans of running a vacation resort and raising a family. Unlike the Duncans, the Shaws had trouble birthing children. They tried as hard as they could to have a baby, but nothing seemed to work, and by the time they moved to that little hick town by Riley's Rock, they'd all but given up. Some of the locals said Josza wasn't meant to spawn. Wasn't meant to spawn. Even now, they always say it quietly like they're afraid Josza will overhear.
That's kind of rude.
The bitch wasn't meant to spawn! Damn Jews!
Oh,
Goodness.
Not every gamer ever. Yet shortly after they arrived, Josza became pregnant, and for a while, the Shaws had more spring in their step than usual. Explains how Ephraim managed to get the hotel built so quickly. Josza spent her pregnancy planting and nursing a garden on the west end of the property and surrounded it with a beautiful cherry grove. Sounds awesome. A nice way to celebrate the new life she would soon bring into the world, if you ask me. But the baby never got a name. Stillbirth, you see. Jesus Christ!
That woman can't get a break.
The Shaws buried
the kid.
This is crazy. The Shaws buried the baby in the grove near a young sapling, and Josza let it all grow out of control until the rock had itself a nice toupee of greenery. Ephraim tried to forget they ever had the baby, but Josza must have felt like she'd been robbed of her motherhood because she visited the grave every day to keep the poor kid's spirit company. For the next 10 years, tenants heard her singing out there for hours at a time. Poor woman. One day, Josza led Ephraim into the grove, and neither of them ever came back. Then the Shaw's tenants started disappearing. Rumor has it, the same way Josza did, one by one, like in a trance. They walked into the grove and ceased to exist. The locals shunned the property for fear they'd disappear too. They closed off the roads to Riley's Rock until the trees and foliage covered them up. The grove withered and decayed, and the house degenerated into a mausoleum for the Shaws and their nameless baby. In spite of its history, the Duncans loved the place. It was a fixer-upper for sure. Everything was caked in dust. The furniture had all but fallen apart, and the ceiling had collapsed in 2 rooms, and let the spring drizzles damage everything inside. But they loved it, and they couldn't wait to get started. I'll admit, I was just as excited. 8 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, dining hall with an ocean view, the sweet smell of the sea in the air. A little polish, and it would have been a beautiful place. Sounds like it. We set to work right away, dusting the countertops, polishing the windows, clearing the busted furniture out to make way for the new due to arrive that weekend. The carpenters were supposed to show up today, actually. We spent the rest of Friday cleaning, then drove into town for dinner in beds at the local inn. The dream changed everything. God, I remember it perfectly. I walked through an endless void of white mist, like I was standing on the ocean's surface on the coldest night of winter. I walked on and on for what seemed like days, until suddenly the fog lifted to reveal a blood-red sky and an ancient, crooked tree towering over a field of shriveled greenery and sterile earth, with 8 or 9 limp bodies dangling from its naked branches like trophies. Not from nooses, Jerry. That damn tree gripped their broken necks like a child would his playthings. There was a woman in a tattered house dress with long, tangled locks of black hair. She stood ahead of me, facing the tree, singing to it in some foreign language. She stopped abruptly, looked over her shoulder, and shot me the meanest glare I've ever seen. She had no color in her face, just a sickly stone gray. And Jesus, her eyes, solid white like golf balls, yet somehow expressing hatred and malignance rivaling hell's. She didn't want me there, but I couldn't turn away. My feet had grown roots. The dream was vivid to all the senses. I smelled damp earth eons old, and the cold of the fog bit my flesh like mosquitoes. Those horrible eyes were suddenly inches away from mine, piercing me like gunshots. I woke up in a cold sweat, so badly shaken I couldn't sleep the rest of the night. We all must have had the same dream, because everyone started acting weird the following morning. The workers kept whispering to each other, and whenever I asked them what the problem was, they clammed up and went on about their business. Sam was particularly jumpy, and the first to lose it. We hadn't been working more than 2 hours when we heard her scream. Everyone rushed to the source and found her shivering in her husband's arms on the ladies' room floor. She'd gone in there to wash her face, looked in the mirror, and saw someone else looking back. Sam just wasn't the same after that. All day Saturday, she wasn't much use to anyone, a nervous wreck, keeping mostly to herself, incapable of sitting still for more than 2 seconds like she was constipated. That's a way to explain that.
Okay.
That just pulled me out of it.
All right, then.
Twice I caught her staring out the dining hall windows towards Josza Schau's grove of dead trees. She just stood there staring. And when I said her name, she'd snap out of it and go about her day like it never happened. She didn't even remember walking into the room. Art wasn't happy, let me tell you. Sam's neurotic behavior had been grating on him for months. But this was the worst she'd ever been. He started losing his temper at the drop of a hat, shouted at her a lot, smacked the workers around from time to time, which didn't improve their odd behavior much. The new furniture arrived late in the evening, and none of us had the strength to bother with it. But Art and Sam were set on staying the night at the hotel this time, and I wasn't willing to leave them alone at night in an eerie house with no electricity. So we dragged the Duncans' bed into their room, and I put one of the new lobby couches in the hall just outside their door and parked myself on it, said goodnight, cleaned my sidearm, then read Arthur Conan Doyle until I passed out.
Cool.
The damn dream haunted my sleep again that very night. The fog, the tree, the hanging bodies. I woke up with a sissy yelp this time, catapulting off the couch and onto the floor. I sat panting in the corridor for a long time, blind as a bat because the place had no electricity, like I told you. I took in a deep breath to calm my nerves and held it fast when I heard another set of lungs breathing only a few steps away. Yeah, I fucking ruined it now.
A few seconds.
A flu.
Okay.
Someone was standing there in the dark, watching me. Sam's voice asked if I was all right. And for a few minutes, I just stammered like a fool while she blindly felt around my face to see where I was. Then took my hands and helped me to my feet. That's when I noticed how dirty her hands were. My fingers came away My fingers came away caked in soil like she'd been out digging holes with her hands all day. I asked her about it while searching my pockets for a flashlight. I've been in the grove, she said. The grove? I said. I started to ask what she was doing out there in the cold so late at night as I fished out the flashlight and flicked it on. Instead of Sam's pretty face, I saw that hateful, wide-eyed scowl from my nightmares, and I dropped the light and screamed and screamed. You should have seen me, tripping over my own feet, crashing headlong into walls. I about threw myself into the car and pressed the gas pedal to the floor all the way to town. Damn my cowardly ass to hell. I left poor Art alone with that God knows what.
I don't fucking blame him.
Would I be telling you this if I'd killed them all and burnt the place down to cover my tracks? Would I make up a story if I knew full well you wouldn't buy it? That would be pointless, wouldn't it? Besides, one little ghost isn't what made me liberate that place. Yeah, that's right. I said liberate, because that's exactly what I did. I liberated Riley's Rock from an ancient, unspeakable taint. A fluke of the natural world that I still can't wrap my head around. When the workers set off for the hotel Sunday morning, I didn't go with them. Scared too far out of my wits. But eventually guilt kicked in, and I started thinking about how good the Duncans had been to me all these years, and ditching them seemed to be a lousy way to pay them back. Mind you, at the time, I still wasn't sure what I saw. At the time, I was beginning to think my imagination was just having a little fun with me. So I drove back, composing and rehearsing an elaborate apology in my head. Riley's Rock had put on a biting cold while I was gone. Like winter had hit early. The minute I walked onto the hotel lobby, Art greeted me in hysterics. His eyes rolled around in his head like marbles, and he kept saying, "Something's got my Sammy, Brad. Something's got her." I didn't understand until I saw it for myself. Art had been organizing his new office when he suddenly noticed how quiet the old house had gotten. He searched the hotel from top to bottom and couldn't find a trace of his hired help. Instead, he found Sam standing at the dining hall window, staring out at the dead grove, singing a sullen lullaby to nobody at all. She was different. I can't say how. Sam just wasn't Sam anymore. When we came in, she turned and glanced at us with disinterest, like we were strangers to her. She gave us a tiny smile with no heart in it. The kind of routine smile you give someone when you've had a really bad day and don't want to talk about it. But while the pretty smile was unmistakably Sam Duncan's, the eyes behind it belonged to another person. Like someone was wearing Sam's face as a mask, one that didn't fit quite right. All I knew for sure was that the frigid air enveloping Riley's Rock emanated from her. After watching the woman sing stupidly to the window for several minutes, Art and I decided one of us had to approach her and ask her who she was. I didn't have the courage, and Art was married to her anyway, possessed or not. Up close, she seemed to finally recognize her husband, smiled warmly, and held his hand like they were high school sweethearts all over again. Goosebumps swept up his arms, like she was icy to the touch. "Come with me to the grove," she said. "Come and see our baby." He kept at Sam's heels in a dog-like trance as she went out the door, maybe enslaved by that dreadful urge to see what horror was yet to come. The same urge that goaded me into following them. God help me. I followed them, Jerry. I followed them into that sea of shriveled trunks and crooked branches to the barren garden in its belly. I followed them to that horrid black tree, the one that tortured me in my sleep for 2 nights, the only still living thing in the entire garden, whose bald boughs perked up when it felt the 3 of us approaching. Sam kept singing those damn lullabies, while the tree somehow swayed in time. A terrible, unseen force beckoned us. Art walked right up to the ugly thing and put his hand on its trunk. He suddenly jerked his hand away in horror and looked at me with a dismayed expression I'll never forget. His mouth opening, fish-like, as if trying to find the words to share an awful revelation to me. Our eyes instinctually fell to the ground. One of us screamed, but I don't know which. The Dungans' missing servants hadn't wandered far. 4 pale, shriveled faces peeked up from the soil, at our feet sprouting cabbages. At our feet like sprouting cabbages, their dead eyes gazing blindly towards the stars. As the great tree twitched, one of them shifted slightly and sank another inch. Jesus, it was like a nightmare. Art's feet vanished. Something took hold of him and pulled him down into the earth. He clawed at the air for something to hold on to, unable to tear his eyes away from that hideous crop of human heads. He was gone in moments, consumed by the garden. Nothing left of him but his endless, earth-smothered screams. The tree stood still for a moment, as if surprised. Sam continued singing. Something brushed my feet. Something alive. A barracuda taste testing its prey. Suddenly my limbs thawed and I turned and ran. I ran through the house and into the woods. Thorny bushes and sharp branches thrashed me bloody and I didn't care. I ran and I didn't stop for breath until I made it to a telephone. You're giving me those funny looks again, but I'm telling you, if you'd only been there with me, your hands would be shaking as badly as mine. Hell, you probably wouldn't have the guts to talk about it again, let alone make the return trip to do what I did, to do what had to be done. Jerry, give me another whiskey or I'm not going to be able to make it through this. I came back with the oil later that evening. Yeah. More than anything, I wanted to get Sam out of there in one piece. But if I went back to that hotel and found somebody else in her skin, I was going to shoot her right between the eyes. Judging by the charred remains you recovered from the ruins, I think you know how things turned out. She tried to lead me to the grove, Jerry. She would have done it to me too. You know I love Sam. I couldn't let that thing parade around in her body. Just the thought of it turns my stomach. I cremated her with the rest of that house. I burned the grove too. And boy, all that dead foliage just lit up like tissue paper. The nightmare tree was the last to go when all the others had turned to ash. It crackled and blazed and snapped back and forth like a hooked fish. As it wilted in the fire, something cried out from beneath the ground. A piercing, childlike wail that nearly shook Riley's rock out of its seat. Okay. The next morning, when the flames finally died, I rented the crane to tear that monster up by the roots and make sure it was dead. I had only just finished the job when you all arrived at the scene and found me raving and cackling in the courtyard. Judging by the way you've treated me, not one of you must have laid eyes on that abomination. But the forensic team is combing the ruins as we speak, right? They're bound to find it right where I left it. I can't wait to see the photos. You'll believe those, I bet. We'll take one look at those roots. And my guess is you'll be raving and cackling too. I counted around 14 bodies tangled in them, dry and black and shriveled like prunes, every drop of fluid sapped out of them. There might be as many as 20 or even 30, but I stopped counting when I found that husk that used to be Josza. She was easy to identify because of her baby, that monstrous infant thing the roots sprout and slither out of out from, like sea anemone, was hugging her close, like a crusty old teddy bear. Kind of precious when you think about it. And that was written by Mike McD. That actually was really damn good.
That was horrifying.
That was actually a pretty good story.
Yeah.
So no complaints here on that one, actually.
None here.
Nope.
Indeed.
Weirdly, it reminds me of the Cradle, and I don't know why.
Oh, I had a hard time for this thing scrolling, man. Got some good comments on it too. Pretty good. So, Mike, you know how to write a good story. That would have been something I would have paid money to read.
Yeah, maybe you should have published it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have bought it if it was a 99-cent short story or something. I'd have paid for that.
Let me see if I can find the Cradle real quick.
All right.
Let's see.
I'll be right back. I need a Gatorade.
Okay.
I don't want everyone to sound like that husk of a man.
Oh, goodness.
It worked for that story, but I don't want to do it all the time.
Where's the... I need to find out who wrote it first before I can. Come on.
You're doing good.
Where is it?
Glacier cherry. Tastes good, but it's not quenching my thirst. Oh. Alrighty. Phew. God damn it. Phew. Yeah, I'm having a hard time breathing.
You okay?
Yeah. Ah, there it goes. Now it works.
I'm trying to find it. What? What? Do we not have it or something?
What?
You know, I'm kind of skimming through Clockwork,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually, I mean, it's basically the same story as Scarlet, but actually written a whole lot better. Like, for as bad as the story is, it is written so much better. The formatting is better. The way it's written is better. The spelling's better. I'm wondering if it's even worth reading because it basically is the same exact story with just very minor differences.
doesn't sound worth it.
It doesn't sound worth it. So Clockwork is basically more or less the same story as Silent Scarlet, but better.
Only better.
Yeah, only better. And considering it's one of the top 10 worst creepypastas of all time,
That's
well,
saying something.
yeah, I mean that's what it says on a what e-zine is this? Let me see. The top tens. So yeah, it was voted one of the top 10 worst creepypastas, and this is and it's actually better than the ripoff, which is Silent Scarlet. So I'm not gonna read it.
Okay. I'm still looking for one for some reason. I can't find it. I don't know why.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys find another one,
I'm working on it.
all right. That was actually a really good damn story.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot I could really make fun of, you know.
Hey, if I were him, I would have round the fuck off too. That would have been scary shit.
I mean, it's written very well. I mean, you know, like I said, the writer of it seemed to understand how to make a good story where you feel something, where you're actually invested in the story. He wrote it like he cared about what he was trying to write. So as a reader, I care about what's going on. I want to know what the deal was. Even when I kind of figured out what was going on, it's just like, I still want to read it anyway because it was very interesting. So it was done very well. Very, very few mistakes. Very, very few mistakes. I can definitely tell he had definitely gone over it a couple times. It was spaced very well. It was, you know, formatted well. Even though it was a little lengthy, it was fine. For a creepypasta, I don't know, but like I said, if he had sold that like the other story, you know, if he had published that as like a, you know, 99-cent, $1.99 short story on Amazon, I would have bought it. That was actually a pretty good story. I would have left a good review. Oh, excuse me. I know. I feel like I'm being kind of boring this time around.
No,
No.
not at all.
As long as y'all aren't bored.
I'm not bored.
Nope. I just wish I could find that story. Doggone it.
What story?
The Cradle, but I can't seem to find it.
Yeah. It's annoying sometimes. You hear and read about like how a story is supposed to be like hella fucking creepy, but then they make it impossible to find the fucking thing, right?
I found it before. That's how I found this one channel, and I can't find it now. Did they take it down or something?
A lot of people take down a story.
That sucks, 'cause that was one of my favorites.
I'm sorry one of your favorites was taken down. Sounds
Possibly, yeah.
He has some other ones on here that are still considered bad, but not as bad. Like there's one called Jane the Killer, and it's actually said that even though it's Jeff ripoff, it's slightly better. Lavender Town Syndrome. I remember that one. Ben drowned. Oh God, cupcakes. I remember cupcakes. I remember cupcakes.
Let's not do cupcakes.
Okay, we're not going to do cupcakes. Yeah, it's not a good story, but it's interesting.
I like it.
I think I like cupcakes better than Rainbow Factory.
Oh, most definitely.
I never read that one and I don't want to.
I would rather read cupcakes.
What The hell is
Not
homicidal?
because, just because I enjoy it more. But I can't find.
Blood whistle.
That sounds bloody.
Oh God. Looks like it's one of those overly dramatic things. It just sounds stupid. Oh. Somebody committing suicide over a game. Yeah, no thanks. Oh, let's see. Was it the Cradle, her story, creepypasta by the badass wolf's chick?
I don't remember who wrote it. I know it was supposed to be a creepypasta, but it was more like a.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
Let's find it now. I don't know if it's.
Candle Cove. That's one of my favorites.
Well, you could always read it.
I don't know how to read it because it's written out like a chat.
Oh goodness, that sounds fun.
It's something that I'd have to read it quietly, or it would have to be acted out.
It's like we could break it into parts, I guess. We could do it together.
Candle Cove is one of my favorite creepypastas, but at the same time, it's a pain in the ass to read.
That sounds like a pain in the ass.
Oh my God. Speaking of creepypastas and shit, I was watching a video. I forget who I was watching. It was just kind of somebody that came up on my recommended. And it was called like the creepiest anime ever or something like that, or the creepiest cartoon ever. And it was called something like PZ or something like that. And it's a Japanese like CG cartoon that's really fucked up and gory. Kind of like, what was it? Don't hug me, like hug me, I'm scared, don't hug me, I'm scared, but like CG and a whole lot worse.
Oh goodness,
And they said the manga was even worse. And it's supposed to be for kids.
Oh,
They have it on like a kid channel or something like that. I'm like, oh God, it's nightmare fuel. It looked awful. Something like Peasy the Performer or something like that. I don't even remember. But it looked terrifying. Like, oh my God, this is awful. This is like, he was saying, those, lost episode or, lost TV show, creepypastas. This is the real life version of those. And just looking at some of the clips he was showing from the episodes, because apparently there's quite a few episodes, I'm like, oh my God, it looks exactly like what I would hear about on a creepypasta. He's like, yeah, it actually exists. I'm like, oh my God.
why does that exist?
It's off. If I figure out what it is, I'll have to give you a link. Oh my God, it was creepy. And they said like there's basically like no dialogue. It's just either silence or the theme song. Anyway, Sirius, are you looking for a creepypasta too?
Oh, I was just letting Shannon look. I'll look.
I have enough time to do maybe two more, 2, 3, 4 more, depending on how big they are.
All right, let me look.
I wish I could find that one.
I think I need something with a little more sass.
I am not going to click that.
We don't want to hear about your porn pop-ups.
What? Oh, goodness.
Oh, God, it hurts. And you take my meds.
Old Mill Playland. How does that sound?
What's it called?
Old Mill Playland.
That sounds cool. Hit me.
I am linking it in the Google Hangout.
All right, I see it. By the way, if y'all are interested, on my Facebook, I shared the episode "Room for Ruby," which was tonight's episode of Steven Universe.
Ooh, yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Ugh, it made me mad. I was looking forward to that episode all fucking week, and then when I actually watched it, I'm just like, what the fuck? Damn it! It made me so mad.
Room for Ruby made you mad?
It made me so mad.
Why?
When you watch it, the ending pissed me off. I'm like,
Oh, I watched it.
freaking point!
I watched it.
I haven't yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
I guess
like,
I can't say anything.
so when y'all get a chance, in the morning or whatever, and go ahead and look it up and watch it. It made me angry. It started off so good.
What movie?
Oh, the episode of Steven Universe tonight, which was Room for Ruby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just got back. I went ahead and ate, and then decided to call Jimmy, BS with him for a few minutes.
Ugh, God, that tastes awful.
Did you take the Old Mill Playground yet?
No, I'm taking my meds.
Okay. That sounds pleasant.
Overall, it's fine. It's just the muscle relaxer tastes awful. Ugh. All right. Just hopefully I don't get too crazy too soon. I want to be able to eat before I go to sleep. I don't feel as bad as I mean, like, physically I still feel bad, but emotionally I'm feeling a little better.
You know, I'm not trying to say I'm crazy, but every time somebody posts on Facebook about the world's quietest room and how people can only stand it for 45 minutes, I kind of want to go, though, and just stand in, though.
What room?
The world's quietest room. It's a
Oh,
-9 decimals. It is so quiet you can hear your blood flowing. The
that sounds
silence,
interesting.
silence is so maddening that it can cause hallucinations, and the longest anyone has been able to bow the room was 45 minutes. But a fun fact, you know when they say when you put a seesaw up to your ear, you can hear the ocean?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
What you're actually hearing is the blood in your ear flowing around.
Oh, my question would be, if it's that quiet, if you feel the pressure in your ears from the silence, or if it's, you don't feel it. So, like, to me, when I hear something's that quiet, I associate it with a certain level of pressure on the head. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
That's not crazy.
All right.
I don't know, because dealing with creepypastas, which is why I kind of brought this up, but dealing with creepypastas, they tell you that, a lot of them tells you that you constantly have somebody whispering to you, but in a quiet room you hear a light humming sound. That's to mask the voice which you hear. You can't hear, but you hear. What the voice is supposed to be is actually telling you 5 seconds into the future. So it tells you what theoretically you will do in the next few minutes. So it would just kind of be interesting to hear it and see mainly what the room has to offer.
That'd be interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read this one while Shannon's looking for whatever.
But right quickly, which one are you going to read?
I'm getting ready to do Old Mill Playland.
Okay.
Never read this one before.
I haven't either.
Look at me.
This just comes off as an interesting concept. All right. Sometimes I miss the dreamy sensations that came with childhood. Sorry, I had to stop because I had a little twitch of my eye from the punctuation. Okay, there should be a comma after sometimes, and there should be like a colon after childhood. Well, actually, you probably could use that comma there. I don't know. That's what I would do. Anyway, like the excitement of visiting an amusement park, because that's awesome. Back then, no comma, they seemed like dreamlands nestled in reality. And it was as though no kid could wait to visit them. My younger brother and I were no exceptions. Whenever summertime rolled around, we would eagerly count down the days until Playland opened its gates. Okay. So far, so good. Never heard of it? Playland is a very old amusement park in our hometown of Rye, New York. And it was always the place to be when we were kids. I made many fond memories at that park. The first time I rode the famous dragon coaster, playing frisbee on the park's beach with my brother and father, and the night my crush kissed me on the cheek as we watched the fireworks display from the boardwalk. One particular memory, however, overshadows the rest. This is making me feel really nostalgic and sad.
I think that's the point.
It makes me think of me growing up in Cape May County, New Jersey, and every summer we'd go to the Wildwood Boardwalk. We'd watch the fireworks from the beach there. We'd go swimming on the beach and then play games and ride rides on the piers.
You do sound super nostalgic.
Yeah. They're getting ready to open. Their season's getting ready to start soon. Probably for Easter. Anyway. It was the night our adult sister and her boyfriend had brought us to Playland. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how old these people are. The four of us had spent the day riding the coasters, playing mini golf, and so on. What my brother and I were really looking forward to was going on the dark rides. You know, those indoor rides through dark tunnels with different scenery and animatronics. At the time, there were rumors going around that all of Playland's dark rides were going to be shut down. So we were adamant about paying them our final respects. You do so. Rest in peace, Nichols Pier. Sorry, it's like I'm feeling a kinship.
Nostalgic bird is nostalgic.
My brother insisted on waiting until nightfall before riding them. So I assumed he wanted to go on the zombie castle or the flying witch first. But once the sun had disappeared behind the sea line Instead, he hurried us to the tamest of the dark rides, Ye Old Mill. While the other two dark rides take you through castles infested with zombies and monsters, this one takes you on a boat ride through caves inhabited by Disney-esque gnomes and trolls. I asked him, "You want to ride this one first? I thought you were our main thrill seeker." "Yeah, I am," he replied, "but I want to try something." I could hear a bit of mischief in his voice. "Try what?" By the way, we did have a ride like this. I don't remember what it was called, but we had something like that on the boardwalk. It was a little boat ride, and you'd have like these fake alligators and stuff. It was really cool. Sorry, my nostalgia got in the way again.
It's okay to be nostalgic.
I heard that if you go on this ride alone at night, you can see a ghost at one part. Okay, so it was clearly only a rumor he had heard at school. What would one expect from a 9-year-old? Thank you. I, who was 11 at the time, thank you, just brushed it off, although I was, admittedly, a superstitious kid. "Just wait here. I'm going on first." He turned to run to the ticket booth when our sister swiftly stepped in front of him. "No, you're not," she snapped. "Don't you remember what happened last year?" "Oh, yeah," I muttered to myself. I'd almost forgotten about the incident that had occurred on the ride looming above us, a tragedy that had played out like a horror story. You see, Playland has a small record of deadly accidents, one of which occurred in 2005. A 7-year-old boy had gone on the Old Mill alone, having passed his minimum height requirement. His mother, who had been waiting outside, was terrified to find the boat he was riding in returned empty. The news later broke out that authorities had discovered his body stuck beneath one of the conveyor belts used to move the boats, under more than 2 feet of water. There were no eyewitnesses to the accident, and inspectors found nothing wrong with the ride itself. So it was believed that the boy became frightened and climbed out of the boat in an attempt to escape. According to the boy's autopsy, the cause of his death wasn't by drowning, but blunt force trauma to the head. Okay. "He'll be fine as long as he stays in the boat," I said. Sis frowned at me. The sister with no name. Sis frowned at me as my brother nodded in agreement. Even though I understood why she was worried, I thought she was overreacting. The Old Mill was one of the safest rides in the park, and our little thrill seeker didn't scare easily. "Look, you two can just ride it together. The ghost might appear anyway, right?" "Yeah, guys," her boyfriend chimed in. "You can take it like a pair of Ghostbusters." The cheesiness of that line made me laugh, as did the face my brother made in response. I said to him, "Sounds fine to me." He just sighed in defeat. This amuses me because I'm assuming that then again, well, I don't know. Because I didn't even think Ghostbusters was still a thing until recently. Well, no, I think in the 90s or early 2000s, it was Extreme Ghostbusters, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Like the late 80s, early 90s.
Because I remember Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters and the Real Ghostbusters and all that. They were my childhood.
Extreme Ghostbusters was after the normal Ghostbusters, and it was from the mid-90s.
Midnight, yeah. It was later on because I'm like, what the hell am I watching? Anyway, we're not going to get into which was better and why. Okay.
They both had their own merits, but for different reasons.
Yeah. Oh, all right. As my brother walked up to the booth, Sis put a hand on my shoulder and quietly said, "Don't let him do anything stupid, okay?" I turned to see her face dark with concern. Hell, she sounded like she expected us not to come back. What did she think our brother would do? Jump ship and hide in the scenery? Sounds silly, but it was technically possible. The Old Mill was The old mill has narrow concrete paths running along the walls for staff access, so people could hop out of the sluggish boats and go exploring. To try and calm her down, I placed a hand on her shoulder and said, "Okay, I won't let him get eaten by the robot gnomes." "Oh, shut up and go already." She gave me a playful rap over the head before checking out the nearby game booths with her boyfriend, leaving my brother and me to board the ride. With no line in front of us, it was only moments before we boarded one of the boats and were on our way into the old mill. Rounding the first bend, we were greeted by an animatronic gnome in mining gear perched on a pipe above us. Sorry. "Welcome to Playland Waterworks," it announced in its usual Western accent. I don't want to go back and do it again. "We were keeping it flowing down here, but stay in the boat and on the main waterways. There's hungry trolls hiding in those back caverns." With that, the boat drifted into the unlighted tunnels ahead, and I don't know what accent I did, so let's roll with it.
Okay.
Yep. We'll go with that.
Do you ever get the feeling that a room seems darker when you know it's dark outside? Never having been on the old mill at night, I was getting that sense. Aside from the lights on the scenery, the tunnels were completely black. I tend to get a little anxious in really dark places since my eyesight isn't the greatest, but being with my brother helped me alleviate that anxiety. For the first couple of minutes, we just poked fun at the scenes we passed, which consisted of gnomes performing generic mining duties, digging for gems, blasting stone with TNT, and accidentally blowing each other up, in the cartoony covered in soot way, of course. At one point, I asked him, "So when is this ghost supposed to appear again?" "I don't know," he replied with a shrug, "but it wouldn't be in here. It's too bright. Maybe if we're really quiet." We had just entered a room full of mock machinery, the set brightly lit. Both of us went silent, so I just listened to the bouncy music playing over the speakers. I heard a sharp clicking sound a couple of times as we passed through a room, assuming it was the music skipping or something. I ignored it and thought about the accident. That kid must have really been afraid of the dark. That or the scarier scenes got to him. But still, to frighten him enough to want to climb out of the boat. My contemplation abruptly ended when my brother turned excitedly towards me. "This could be it! Get ready!" This is where the memory becomes more vivid for me, as though it happened last night. Ever since I was little, this particular part of the ride struck me as foreboding. As the boat made another turn, the comical music emanating from the machine room faded out, overtaken by the sound of gusty winds. A white strobe light flickered in the distance, while faux thunder echoed in the corridor, creating the illusion of getting caught in a summer storm. The chilling atmosphere was amplified by light mists spraying about, surrounding us in a cool embrace. "There's nothing here," I thought to myself. "Nothing here except us." But then I heard it again. Click, 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 just like in the last room. Without the music and voices of the animatronics, I could hear it more clearly. It reminded me of the sound of a dog's claws make when it walks around a hard floor. I glanced around. Even though I couldn't see a damn thing, I tried to locate the sound. Then it occurred to me that the only floors around were the paths alongside the boat. "Hey, did you hear that?" I asked my brother. "What?" That clicking sack. A crash of thunder suddenly burst from the speakers, cutting me off and making my heart leap. But what frightened me more was that as soon as the thunder rang out, I thought I heard something splash in the water behind us. "What? Did you hear the ghost?" my brother asked. "No," I stammered. Disappointed, he turned away from me without even noticing my unease. As our lonely vessel drifted beyond that stormy hall, I listened carefully for the clicking sound again. Click, 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 click. There it was, sure enough. What the hell is that? I thought. I was beginning to think it was just in my head. But then I heard something else alongside it. Clack, clack, clack. It was just like the clicking, only heavier, sharper. Go back, please, a voice warned us. I noticed we were drifting by the next scene, a gnome with a lantern waving at us from a small cliff. Last chance. They'll get you for sure. Please, don't go back there. From that point forward, my imagination started to run away with me. I began to think the puppets were trying to warn us of some real imminent danger, regardless of the fact that they were only reciting their usual lines. I wasn't even focused on the scenery anymore. Instead, fearfully staring at the floor of the boat, while my mind ran wild. If a ghost were hunting, if a ghost were, I can read really. If a ghost were haunting the ride, would it try to hurt us? I warn you, humans! I heard one of the troll puppets shout. Go away now! What if someone who had come in before us decided to hide in the scenery and scare whoever passed by? What if that person was dangerous? Or maybe, instead of some phantom or adolescent trickster, we were being watched by something else. It's too late now, another troll said, letting out a low, wicked laugh. I finally looked up, recognizing the scene in front of me. The troll was stationed next to a sharpened log suspended by vines. A trap. The log suddenly swung forward as the tunnel was engulfed in darkness. A crashing sound played moments later. Just before the crash, I let a scream slip out as I heard another splash. This time, it wasn't as far behind. What? What is it? My brother shouted back in surprise. Didn't you hear that? I stammered. Something's in here, in the water. He paused a moment, as though he had been hearing something as well throughout the ride. You better not be joking. He was trying to sound tough, but he couldn't mask the fear in his voice. The trepidation I had felt since the stormy hall had finally overtaken me. I was on the brink of tears, glancing every which way to find the source of that godforsaken sound of claws on stone. I hoped and prayed that we would come to a tunnel with more light, and fast. Click, 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 click. I held my breath, frozen in terror. Whatever was making that sound was right beside the boat. For the first time, I heard it breathing. It took in quiet, shallow, croaking gasps, as if it was struggling for air. It wasn't the mournful moaning of a child's spirit, however. No, it didn't even sound human. I had to know. Despite the temptation to just hide my face in my sweaty hands, I had to know what in God's name was following us. Summoning whatever little courage I had, I slowly turned my head to the path on my left. Fear pierced my heart as I met the incandescent gaze of two green, unblinking eyes. They were wide and blank, like those of an anglerfish. That was something I didn't expect to see. But I couldn't make out the head that they were attached to. I heard its claws lightly click against the concrete as it crept alongside the boat, its eyes locked onto me. Shivering, I took in only quick, stilted breaths, afraid that any sudden movement or sound would cause it to attack. I wanted to warn my brother and tell him not to move. But before I could, "What's that noise?" he asked meekly. I heard his body shift as he turned to face me. Suddenly, he let out a scream, clearly seeing what I saw. The creature immediately averted its eyes from me and locked into my terrified brother, responding to his scream with a loud hiss. It darted past me and leapt towards him at alarming speed. My brother cried and screamed in pain, snapping me out of my fear-induced paralysis. Without thinking, I reached out to pull the infernal thing off of him, fumbling in the darkness until I got a hold of it. It wasn't very big, but it was powerful. The rough scales that made up its exterior dug into my skin as it writhed and squirmed relentlessly in my arms. I was about to throw it overboard when I suddenly felt several claws strike me across the face. I shrieked and clasped my hands on my face as the damn creature slipped free. Get it away, my brother cried. It's going to kill us. Wiped my eyes of what was either blood or tears. I turned around to see those faint green eyes burning into mine. All at once, I felt a churning blend of fear and rage as it approached again. I swung my leg as hard as I could. The creature let out what sounded like a gasp as my foot slammed against it. Realizing I had the upper hand, I rushed forward and kicked it again and again and again before backing towards my sobbing brother. Still, unable to see anything in the darkness but those eyes, I watched as they unsteadily turned from us and disappeared over the rear of the boat with a splash. To my relief, the boat was just starting to pass one of the next scenes, offering us just enough light to see. Quick, it's gone! Get out of the boat! Thanks to the adrenaline coursing through me, I was able to pull myself onto the concrete walkway beside the set and my brother after me. I could see his wounds in the dim orange light. His legs were scratched up, as was his chest, visible through his torn shirt. But his worst injury was on his left arm, drenched in blood. He was tightly clutching a large mark between the wrist and elbow. Sorry.
You're okay.
It bit me, he sobbed repeatedly. There was no way in hell we could stay any longer. Come on, we need to get help, I choked out, trying to catch my breath. Thankfully, he was still able to walk. But sticking close to the wall, we were able to find our way to the next set without falling off the narrow walkway. The scene was of a troll cutting down a tree, so I knew we were close to the end of the ride. Don't worry, we're almost there. Almost. Clack, clack, clack. The familiar sound stopped us in our tracks. I began to tremble, ready to sob out of utter disbelief. No, that's not real, I told myself. But what followed was unmistakable. A furious, hissing roar right behind us. Instinctively, we turned around, just in time to see another glowing pair of eyes charging in our direction. Run! I screamed. We bolted towards the end of the set as the second creature entered the room. I looked back for a moment to see how far behind it was, catching a very blurry glimpse of its appearance. It was some ungodly animal, larger than the other one, clawing its way towards us like an enraged crocodile. His eyes burned bright yellow-orange like twin torches, and his teeth seemed to be bared and jagged. All I could see of the body itself was grayish-red color, but I wasn't about to stop to get a closer look. My brother and I scrambled onto the black corridor, the longest in the entire ride, and saw the light of the last set visible at the end of it. I thought we were in the home stretch, but the next thing I knew, something clamped onto my leg. I fell forward and hit my head against the floor, calling out to my brother and reaching out with my arms. What happened? Hurry, he cried. I can't, I cried back. I felt the creature tug on me, sending a splitting pain through my leg. Thinking I had been bitten as well, I looked behind and saw the glowing eyes weren't that close to me at all. I quickly realized that it had ensnared me with some kind of appendage. With his arm hurt, my brother couldn't pull back, which left only one option. Get help! Get out and get help now! What? Go now, run! With that, I heard my brother's crying grow fainter and fainter as he hurried to the end of the tunnel. The beast growled as it tugged on me again, pulling me closer to what would certainly be my demise. I desperately felt around for anything to grab onto or use as a weapon, to no avail. I tried to grip the edge of the walkway and pull myself free, my mind overrun with thoughts of my family, the memories of that park, and the child with whom I was about to share a final resting place. Then the creature's growling became a dry hiss, croaky and shallow like that of its smaller counterpart. Its tugging was more frequent, but not as strong. It wasn't clear to me then, but now I believe that it was losing its breath, In one last attempt to escape, I kicked at my right leg with my left, trying to hit the spot where its extra set of jaws had latched on. Again and again, I kicked with all the strength I could muster. Finally, unable to last above the surface any longer, the creature released my leg and leapt into the water. I watched the fiery glow of its eyes fade as it swam back into the depths of the old mill. Fearing that it would return, I didn't waste any time trying to get away. As I crawled towards the light of the last set, battered and bleeding, all the trauma I had endured suddenly caught up with me. My head throbbed violently. My arms grew weak. The whole world melting into a bleary mess before my eyes. The last I recall of this nightmarish memory is the glint of a flashlight, a garbled voice of a Playland staff member. Oh, the garbled voices of Playland staff members, and the last animatronic gnome shouting, "I warned ya! I warned ya!" I woke the next day in a hospital bed. My dear younger brother was in the bed next to mine, still asleep. I would learn later that day that he had stumbled out of the ride, pale and hysterical, screaming over and over that there was a monster in the ride and that I was going to die. God in heaven, our little thrill seeker got so much more than what he bargained for. We all did. The authorities later concluded that we had been attacked by wild dogs that had somehow found their way into the ride. What other explanation could they give? There haven't been any incidents like this since then, so I can only assume the real culprits no longer reside in the old mill. Only God knows what they were or where they are now. Those soulless, incandescent eyes continue to haunt me, and perhaps they always will. Even more haunting, though, are the terrified cries of my brother. It brings me to tears to think what could have happened if I had let him get on that ride alone. And that was submitted by Clockwork Creeper, and surprisingly was very good.
I actually, once you got going, I kind of remember that one.
I never heard this one, and I really couldn't make fun of it because it actually reminded me of reading a Goosebumps book.
It does kind of.
It feels a little bit like a Goosebumps book.
It does.
Well, yeah, it was actually a good story, I guess.
I did like the one, but I don't know, like, on the one hand, it has been read on YouTube, but I don't know if they'd. You'll have to read the link, I guess.
Yeah. I guess I have time for one more short one, maybe. So if y'all have one in mind.
Just, like I said, there's the Cradle thing, but I don't. You'll have to look and see if you want
But
to read it.
yeah, I really couldn't make fun of that one because it felt like it was like me reading a Goosebumps book. So it just kind of felt, it felt like a
legitimate story. It was like
I want to say like a young adult novel, which is what the Goosebumps are. It's like, it's not for little kids, but it would have made a good scary story for like, your tweens.
It was sort of like Goosebumps in short story form.
Yeah. And nothing wrong with that. So
No.
it actually was pretty good.
I like that one.
Very few mistakes, mostly punctuation.
New people things.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that bad, actually. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a whole lot of it. It actually looked like he had gone back, or he or she, I don't know. It looked like they had actually gone back and, made sure it was okay and just missed a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually pretty good. So Clockwork Creeper, if you ever thought about being an actual author and publishing stories, you might have a...
You've got some serious potential on that one.
Yeah, you got some potential. I actually really like that.
I like that one too.
So yeah, if that's actually one of your original stories and not something you were just sharing, think about maybe publishing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really can't make fun of it. I can't be sassy, really. It's really hard because...
Could talk about the nostalgia brought up.
It did. It made me think a lot of in Wildwood they had different piers. There's Mariner's Landing, Maury's Pier. There used to be another one, but I don't know what it is. And there used to be Nichols Pier. And I think Nichols Pier doesn't have a whole lot on it anymore, but that used to be where Dracula's castle was. They used to have a tilt-a-whirl, but the tilt-a-whirl had skulls instead of, designs. And it used to be where all the scarier stuff was.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna get off of food for tonight. It's almost
Alrighty then.
4 p.m.
Sure.
Good night.
Good night.
Woo!
Let's see. Creepypasta fanfic. Ouch! Fuck, that hurt. Let's see.
Oops.
All right.
I did link in Skype.
Oh, you did find it? Okay.
I did find it. I linked it in Skype.
All right.
It's like from a series of
Okay.
short stories. I
Oh,
don't.
okay. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't start reading because I got something different. All right. So it's called The Cradle That Rocked by Itself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This will probably be the last one we do.
Yeah.
All right.
It's actually, I like it.
Hold on. I'm trying to get through all the talky.
Yeah, you have to go down a little bit. Couldn't be too far down. You just kind of.
Okay, I think I found where it starts.
Okay.
They really should have actually put on this website, between the, what you're supposed to do and where the actual story is. But I think I found it.
Yeah. Because it'll start with like being a storm and.
Yeah. It was a dark and stormy night along the coastline of Maine. Oh my God, it's a Stephen King story.
Only better.
The wind rattled the doors and windows of the houses that dotted the cliffs that overlooked the raging ocean. There's cliffs in Maine?
I guess.
Are there cliffs in Maine? I don't fucking know.
Apparently, we'll just say there are.
Okay. There's cliffs in Maine. Okay. The fierce wind crashed the waves violently against the rocks along the shoreline that lay below. Okay. Several ships that had been caught in the storm struggled to survive. In one warm cottage that was set high on the cliff, a young woman was cooking dinner when she paused and turned toward her husband. Did you hear that? Sorry, I farted. Not what he said.
No, but why not? Throw in just a little bit of fun.
Her husband tapped his pipe gently and looked up from the table. No. I don't know why I gave him attitude.
Hard day at work. He's tired.
I third.
I third.
What the fuck is third? I need a definition. What the hell is third? It has to be a verb.
I third.
I thought I heard a baby crying. I'm sorry, this reminds me of one of the, I was reading one of those articles where they're like, oh, weird things that happen at sleepovers or something like that. And one of them, they said that the people at the sleepover all lay down to go to sleep. And then all of a sudden they heard this really deep voice of a man going, "What?" And eventually one of the other people was like, "Did anybody else hear that?" And one of the other people started laughing. One of the boys started cracking up. And they're like, what are you laughing at? He goes, I farted. And apparently it came out sounding like, that's what that sentence reminded me of.
Oh.
I think it was on, I don't remember if it was on Dipley or BuzzFeed, or I don't know what the fuck it was. Just something I saw.
Well, my moms tend to sound like duck quacks, so
My sister did that one. She let one out, and she said that it sounded like Gilbert Godfrey when he was Affleck Duck. Blast!
that's kind of what mom does. It's just quack. It's like, okay, ducks.
He shook his head. It's probably just the wind. Speaking of wind.
Yep, it's just the wind breaking.
Seeing his wife perplexed. Perplexed. I think it's supposed to be wife apostrophe S. Seeing his wife perplexed, look, he continued. Period. Or it could be them seals. You know how those baby seals sound just like human babies? They do?
I don't know.
By the way, when he's continuing, you want to put a comma on there because it's continuing. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too picky now. I need something to kind of pick at. His wife looked him in the eye. I think I know the difference between a human and an animal cry. Excuse me. Okay. I almost said the human shook his head kindly.
I think you've been around me too much, Jockey.
The human is what?
It's a human sounds. Oh God.
I'm confused. The human is what now?
The husband shook his head kindly. How could it be? In this storm, the two sat and ate their. Hey, there's a baby crying outside. Oh, let's just sit and finish eating. Fuck that kid. Ah, there we go.
Okay.
I was wondering when I was going to get some more sass out there. The two sat and ate their supper in silence. Being newlyweds, they were not used to disagreeing yet. Neither went outside to check, because fuck that baby.
Yeah.
The next morning, no comma, as the newlywed couple walked along the beach, no comma, they sadly surveyed several items that had washed ashore from one unfortunate ship that had broken to pieces against the rocks the night before. The husband spotted a cradle. The storm had battered it about, but it was mostly intact. He picked up the stray pieces and took it home where he repaired it.
Yay.
You guys heard fucking baby cries last night. Oh, look at this here cradle. I know we heard a baby cry last night. I'm not even going to go and look for that shit. No, let that baby die. We're gonna take this cradle though, and maybe one day we'll fill it. You know, fuck that baby. It's a mermaid baby now.
Maybe it was before. They were on the rocks there crying for their mom to come and get them.
In the following years, the couple used this cradle for each of their babies. They often noted a very odd occurrence. Okay. When there was a storm and the wind blew, the cradle would rock by itself. Sitting on the floor in the couple's warm living room, the cradle would rock as if someone were sitting next to it and gently rocking the baby. And not the least bit freaked out at all.
Nope.
Oh, goodness.
This happened frequently, and since their baby seemed to enjoy it, the couple paid it no mind.
Okay. I guess if the baby don't care, why should we?
They should totally care. They should move.
We seem to have some ghostly shit happening here. Fuck the kids like it will just pretend it didn't happen.
Oh.
Yeah. With the birth of their last child, the wife's sister came to visit. You know, wife's sister. Wife with no name and husband with no name. The family gathered at the kitchen table to eat supper. The proud aunt glanced into the next room. Surprised, she asked, "Who is that woman rocking the cradle?"
Wait, you didn't notice this before? I mean, is this the first time you come to visit your nieces and nephews? I mean, never mind the older ones that they had beforehand. This is the first time you decided to come to visit after all of these years. Yep.
Right? Yeah, where do you live? The father looked and then turned to his sister-in-law. You know, the sister-in-law with no name.
Yep.
Oh, that happens all the damn time. No, that's not what he said. What woman? There is no woman. The cradle rocks by itself. You know, casually, as it does. Totally nothing strange about that at all.
Nope.
Oh, goodness. They've been way too calm since the very beginning of this very story.
It reminds me of the scene in Poltergeist, the original, where the paranormal investigators come in and the light starts flickering and she's like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be another one again. They come in pairs."
Yep. Just like,
So calm.
this is a thing. At least with this story, you could argue that they've had this happen so long that they just stopped bothering with it. But with the poltergeist, it's like, this just started.
No, you could all. I mean, they've been calm since the very beginning of the story where they heard the cries of a baby outside during a storm.
Yes.
We go looking for that baby. Fuck it. Let's eat this corn on the cob.
I'm gonna walk on my biscuits.
Right? The souffle won't rise right. The souffle will fall if I leave it.
I don't think they're complicated enough to make a souffle.
There is a woman. She has long dark hair. She pointed toward the other room. She's sitting next to the cradle, rocking your baby. Oh, awesome. The couple rushed to the door. Huh?
I was like, oh, that's just your sister-in-law. That's that's husband's sister that no one talks about.
Right? The couple rushed to the door that separated the kitchen from the family room. The cradle was indeed rocking, but no one was there. The wife quickly went to the cradle and picked up her baby. Really? Just now you're scared of this?
Yeah.
Just now. All the kids, not the least bit worried. Just now worried. Just now.
Just because someone could see it. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The husband took the cradle outside and chopped it up. He put the pieces in the wood pile, after all this fucking time.
Yep.
I mean, God forbid, they've been living with this for how many years to how many kids? The sister-in-law comes in and goes, "Hey, I see a ghost." It's like, oh shit, we need to get rid of this shit.
Yep.
A little slow on the uptake, aren't we?
Just a smidgen.
Oh, God. In the following weeks, as the couple burnt this kindling in their fireplace, the wife could hear a wailing baby cry in the distance. After all the kindling had been burnt, the wife never heard the distant cries again.
Yep. the end, I guess.
That okay.
Yeah.
That was a little cheesy.
I do like it though, especially since when I heard it, someone had read it and it had like good atmospheric background and stuff like that.
I mean, it's not terrible. These are the dumbest fucking people.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that was so damn slow. Well, no, we're not going to go look for a crying baby. We're just going to eat our fucking supper. Oh, look, a cradle. No, not going to look for a baby. Just going to fucking take this cradle and take it home.
Yep.
Oh, look, the fucker rocks itself. Oh, we're not going to worry about that because the kids like it. Oh, shit, there's a ghost? Really? He's like, ah! It wasn't a terrible story, but God, I just want to like take all their heads and bang them together.
I think it has potential though. It just
Yeah. With all that being said, I think I got, this was a nice night. It was fun. We got some really, really good stories and some silly stories. We got a nice little hodgepodge.
And one unfortunate sad story.
That was really sad, yeah. But yeah, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning here, so definitely gonna call it quits here. Maybe we'll do another one, but right now I know that Sarius is probably gonna get ready to go to bed soon. Shannon needs to go to bed. I reckon he already went to bed, so I'm gonna go ahead and just let everybody go.
Yeah, the only reason I'm up right now is because of the stories. I meant to go to bed a while ago.
I'll be going as soon as I finish this thing here.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to call it quits for tonight. Thanks to everybody who's coming to listen. I hope you had a good time listening to these stories, even without the amount of sass that I had hoped to do. But like I said, there's some really good ones, so maybe you actually find some that you like. So until next time, the next time we do something, have a good evening.
Yay, night people.
Good night.
Woo.